way. Anyone?
They're dog people.
It's an Antifa video game. I can't believe they made an Antifa video game.
Yes, Indiana Jones, unbeknownst to, I guess, everyone, is Antifa. And so I just go through real quick. I'll just play it. These are some of the responses that I thought were so hilarious. Just self-report after self-report.
The quartering responds saying, "Fire this person or face consequences." Wolf Brolsky.
Oh, and I should add, this is in response to an unrelated trailer that they shared, because there was so much outrage to the first one that they took it down, but then they posted it again and they were still mad, so they were responding to an unrelated trailer where Indiana Jones just like takes a picture of something. So they're sharing the screenshot of.
Wait, they took it down?
Why would they take it down?
To the woke mob?
They did. They indeed capitulated to the anti-woke mob, and they still weren't appeased. Surprise, surprise. It's crazy because you would think that these reasonable people would stand down after you cave to them, but nope, they keep on going. But here's some more replies. I go through some funny ones, just like, but these, like, by the way, look at the likes, like 8.8K. Like, these are not obscure responses. These are like the most popular ones. So I'm not like cherry picking. They were fucking pissed.
Broski says, "Your company is populated with people who clearly hate me and people like me." This is, I mean, you're telling on yourself, Wolf. "I'll never buy another Bethesda game again, and I'll agitate at every opportunity that nobody else does neither." Bethesda, this was your official reply after everything that happened last week. You shouldn't have. This is so fucking. You shouldn't have should true colors. Don't support Xbox. Don't support Bethesda. Don't support Game Pass. Scumbags, you think this shit is funny? Understand, when you give these soulless bastards money, you're funding people who want you dead and think it's funny. You're absolutely fucking disgusting. Read the fucking room, not the one you're in filled with blue-haired freaks, the actual fucking room. This company supports murder, by the way. You haven't made a game worth playing since Skyrim anyway.
Yeah. And like, it just goes on and on. I'll encourage you to watch the video. I did not work super hard on it, so I'm not super like bummed that it didn't perform well, but I just was very, very amused by that response, because like, if somebody made a video and they're like, "Hey, anyone who's abused an animal is bad," I wouldn't be like, "Fuck you." Like, you're attacking me, because I've never done that. I've never abused an animal, right? So if somebody's like, "Hey, fuck fascists. You're a cat and I'm in this Nazi house sneaking in, and this cat doesn't care. The cat's innocent." You wouldn't think, "Oh no, them saying fuck fascists, that's like, they're talking to me and my people." Like, you wouldn't do that unless you were a fascist. So I just thought it was very funny. And don't call them Nazis, though, please, because that is an incitement of violence, according to this administration, and you're Antifa and will be sent to Guantanamo Bay or El Salvador or something.
It's pretty incredible to get so mad over that.
Like, I typically think a lot of this stuff are just bots.
Yeah, it does feel fake, doesn't it?
But then you see something like the quarter, and like, that's a real person. There are a few real people there.
Yeah. I don't like, and that was the quartering right after Charlie Kirk's assassination. Tweeted out like, "I've been radicalized. I will go to church. I will have babies. I will," like, all these kind of things like that. And I was like, it's gotta be a weird thing for like your wife to see. Right? like, shouldn't we have kids because we want to have kids, not because like, a podcaster got killed? I don't know.
not saying like these people aren't fascist, but it's a grift, right? Like they just virtue signal to their fascist followers, and that's kind of how they make their money. Like, it's just a really sad life to live.
It is. I couldn't imagine being so triggered by literally everything in pop culture, just like hyper analyzing things. And I say that as somebody who struggles to separate the art from the artist. Like, I know all the politics of every single actor when I see a movie because my brain is rotten. But even I am not as miserable as these right-wingers when they have everything right now. They won. They have the country that they want. They got the president that they want. So I don't understand why they're so angry. It makes no sense. Like, if I had Bernie Sanders as president right now, I don't think that everything would be like peachy keen, right? Because of course I would want to then work to improve the country. But I mean, they don't really have any policy ideas. It's just, hey, trigger the libs. And you did like the ultimate lib triggering event by electing him after he was convicted of a felon. So I don't know what more you want. You've got everything you wanted. You've won the political lottery. maybe just shut the fuck up, smoke some weed, log off. I just don't know what to tell these people.
I mean, because at the end of the day, though, they don't really. A lot of these guys, like, obviously, I'm not talking about like the hardcore, like conservative, like guys who are into policy and stuff. Even the number of people in Trump's administration, I'm sure, but like the people who are just solely cared about the culture war, they're driving motivating factors that they are unhappy. They are unhappy with themselves and who they are, and they have to take it out on everybody else. So a win is not a win because they are still who they are. They could win all the culture war victories they want, but at the end of the day, they are bored or miserable or depressed or unhappy or a combination of any of those things. And no culture war victory is going to fix the problems that they have. And that's what it comes down to for a lot of these guys. That's why they don't celebrate victories, because it's not a victory, because they're miserable.
Although at the same time, polls show that conservatives are on average more happy than liberals and leftists. So like what you're saying makes sense.
It's I don't believe any of that stuff, because I think I think it's quite equal. I don't think there's any ideology or anything that on its own fixes someone who is going through some sort of depression or crisis or mental health issue. I think a lot of those times the data, I don't think it's like liberals are less or conservatives are more. I just think the data isn't correct, because liberals are more likely to get diagnosed, is my assumption, because they are more likely to admit that they have some sort of mental health issue than conservatives, because conservatives are too busy trying to be the alpha male and portraying this sort of masculine, bravado that they don't get help. And that's why so many of them are miserable and care so much about culture war issues.
But I can see it from the other side as well. It's very obvious that they're miserable, but at the same time, I can understand why they would be more happy on average than the regular person. Because if you are completely ignorant to people's pain and suffering, or don't care, if you don't care about the genocide in Gaza, if you're not thinking about climate change, you think it's a hoax. Like if that were me, if I could like delete climate change and genocide out of my brain on average, I think I'd probably be happier. So like ignorance is bliss. So I see it from the other side as well, but I agree with what you're saying. It's hard. Like we need to study the brains of conservatives for centuries to figure it out.
Oppressed by, though, right? Like that's why there's so many endless cycles where they're just inventing things to be angry about, where it's just like that's not a real problem, you know? Like I don't know if you just saw that HCBU, the majority black college where these two like white supremacists went to, and they were basically trying to do like a Charlie Kirk there, and they set up like this whole stand where it was like, you know, basically
that takes on by the way, that takes on a whole new meaning. Going to a college and pulling a Charlie Kirk there. Let's be more specific.
Okay, I'll say a Steven Crowder then. They were trying to be like a Steven Crowder, but like either way, they went there just to be trolls, right? They went to a predominantly black college to be racists, and then they were astounded that a bunch of people started trolling them, and then they said the whole thing was like a race riot. When like all you were like the guy's filming himself like walking away from all these like people clowning on him and being like, you can't believe it, you know, like, I can't believe like they won't have a civil discussion, this is the new left and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, this is all invented in your brain. Like you're inventing oppression, you know, like this wouldn't have happened if you hadn't gone there and been a racist piece of shit. But
they posted their own L's. Actually, Lance, my video tomorrow is about that, so everybody understand I dive deep.
Watch that one.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, definitely watch that one. That's one that you all will like. It's not about video games. But yeah, to your point, it's funny because like he's pretending like he's a victim. He's so intimidated by students who are just like honestly teasing him. And he's carrying around his camera. He's like, yeah, this is crazy, guys. Like, bro, if you were really scared, you would put down the fucking camera, stop filming yourself. And you would bolt. But like they weren't a threat to you, and you knew that they weren't a threat to you. There was a moment from the video.
They were laughing at them.
Straight up bullying a bully.
Yeah.
They had to make it so like this guy who had a screwdriver, like they paused and they like pointed it out as if he was gonna stab them with the screwdriver. It's like he had headphones on. He probably came from like some class where he was screwing in something or making something. I don't know. But like, did it seem like this individual was about to lunge at you and like fucking stab you with a screwdriver? Like you're trying to look for the worst in them because you went there to rile them up. You wanted them to attack you, but they didn't. They just like made fun of you. And even though they weren't violent, you're like, oh, look at this violence. And it's just them like flipping them off and taunting them. It's so funny.
And laughing.
Yeah, they were laughing at them. Some of them were politely just waving bye as they were leaving.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. They just, right wingers are miserable, and I don't know. I'd like to think that healthcare would help them, and a better economy would help them. But at the same time, I think that it's also a cultural problem, but not to like parrot what they say. But you know how they say like, oh, the issue with black and brown communities is there's like no family structure or whatever, and too much dependence on the government. Like they have these tropes, but like I honestly think you could apply a bunch of that to them, where it's like the culture for conservatives is just so toxic and flawed. Any conservative I know is just constantly whining and bitching, and they present themselves as the victim, and it ends up getting like objectively worse for them because they become isolated, because they drive everybody away by being like transphobic and like just nasty and racist, and so it gets even worse, and in their own little isolated bubble they get more like pissed off, and it's like I don't know how to help you all. Like I'm just trying to like have our side get power so we can give everybody healthcare, and I don't know what the fuck you all are doing. Like get it together. I don't know, like clean your room, reread Jordan Peterson if that helps you. Just like I don't know how to help them. Like free mental health care, that's number one. Maybe we'll do that. Free mental health care, re-education, things like that. Otherwise I don't know.
What happened to Jordan Peterson? I just realized I haven't heard from him in a while.
Oh yeah, he's disappeared.
Were you saying, Ariana?
Sorry, Ariana.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think a lot of it has to do with religion too. Like I think
True.
like I do think a lot of are just like ignorance is bliss and stuff like that, but a lot of I mean, I have a content creator friend that literally just goes on to college campuses and asks people who they voted for and why. And I know this is kind of anecdotal, it's not like a real study, but everyone a lot of people say, oh, religion, Trump is Christian, like he represents my Christian values. I think a lot of it has to do with religion too, to be honest.
I think that's fair.
Like I hate what a scam that is. He couldn't even quote a single quote from the Bible when he was asked. Like I could quote more of the Bible than he.
I mean, he didn't even put his hand on the Bible when he swore.
I know, he held it upside down. Like, why do people fall for this? I
don't think they care if he's Christian as long as he's just doing their bidding.
Performative.
That's what I think is the case, David. Honestly, because they really don't care about the person. To them, the excuse, like whenever you point out like their hypocrisy, they'll say, well, I'm not perfect, only God can judge. So that's kind of how they view Trump. The fact that he's delivering for evangelicals is probably what they care about the most. As
long as he's hating the right people, that's like that's satisfying for them. They don't need much more. Like who's the host of I've Had a Podcast, Kristen Welch?
Jennifer Welch.
Jennifer Welch, yeah. She's discussed how she grew up in like she wasn't religious, but everybody around her was. And they just believe in insane shit. And they grow up hating themselves because that's like the culture they grow up in, is like they learn that religion is basically restriction, like things that you can't do, reasons why God hates you. Like when you grow up in a culture like that, that's going to fuck you up in so many different ways.
Everything you do is hyper-analyzed. Even like, because I grew up evangelical as well, you all know, and so that's issues if you're a member of the queer community. But like, even like my sister, for example, she was very young. She was a young mom and she was getting a divorce. And the church was just like all up her ass and she felt terrible about it. And just like things like that shouldn't be controversial. Like it just eats away at you and makes you miserable. And my sister had to make it, like she had to dissect whether or not like she would go to hell for getting a divorce, which is just so fucking stupid. So like whatever it is, like you're never good enough, even though they preach, oh, well, you could be imperfect and God forgives. He died for your sins. It's like, actually, no, you better be real fucking perfect and nearly a saint. Otherwise, they're going to find some way to guilt trip you. It's a catch-22. And I couldn't be happier to have left the church.
Though.
But like being saintly is never about like feeding the poor or about helping people and making sure everyone's getting by.
Or rich man won't
being
get
saintly to them is like, make sure you're hating the right people. Like that's just such a stupid way to live.
Yeah, they are. But by American standards, real Christians, because like, perception is reality. So most Christians in this country, hot take, or not so hot take, objective take, are shitty people, just like based on my experience. So maybe like that's just unique in all the people that I know. Like everyone in my family and friends are just like happen to be shitty people. Maybe it's me, but like in my experience, they're the worst fucking people ever, the most miserable, the most judgmental people ever. And it's so annoying. Like I would fight for them to have their right to believe whatever religion they want. But I don't want them to like shove it in my face at every chance, right? Like it's like a dick. Keep that shit in your pants. I don't want it in my fucking face. But they can't. They literally cannot help themselves. If you talk to a religious person, like one of my siblings, for example, maybe like 5 minutes goes by and they're bringing up Jesus when it's like, bro, I'm never gonna fucking go to church ever. Stop trying to invite me. And to them, it's like a compliment and it's nice. It's like, yo, come to church. And it's like, shut the fuck up. I don't believe in that. Like they can't help themselves. It's like word vomit. So like that's my experience. I know that not all Christians are like that, and there are some, some sects that are much better. But yeah, they like teach you to proselyte. Yeah, as somebody in the chat says, when I grew up evangelical, it was known to be a sin to not proselytize. That's exactly right. That's what I was taught as well. So like they can't like just be normal. They have to bring it up at every chance that you get, even if they know that you don't believe. And it's really, really, it's hard to have a relationship with these people if they're in their in your family, because it's not just like they mention God or I'm praying for you every once in a while. Like they push that shit on you hard as fuck because they're like trying to accumulate points. If they could save your soul, they get like a bigger mansion in heaven or something. It's just so fucking annoying.
Such a depressing way to live.
It is. It is. Yeah.
It's also just like a coping mechanism. I feel like none of us know what's going on. None of us really have any answers. Like we're all gonna die anyways. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people turn to religion to like get answers, or I just know people who are just like trash and they just, they believe in Jesus and they believe in God or whatever. Their God could be whatever, it doesn't even matter what God they believe in, but they're just like trash human beings, and so they believe, believing in God makes them a better person, when in reality, I know many people who would be like categorize themselves as agnostic or, just not believing in any kind of entity, like, atheist, and they're way better people than religious people. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's a way for, I mean, people are multidimensional, but it's just kind of sad because it's like and this goes for anything, like if someone doesn't want to do what you're doing, you can't force them. You literally cannot force them. Like that, it's just like, and I think Americans particularly, especially, sorry, I'm going on a tangent. I'm going to make this quick. I think Americans have the privilege of not living under a dictatorship or a religious dictatorship, so they take that for granted. And a lot of the people that believe this way, they want God to be in their curriculum. They want, but the problem is that every person's interpretation of said religion is different. And so if you want a governor or a president that's going to be interpreting the Bible the way that they want, it's not going to be, first of all, it's not going to align with what you want because every person is different and interprets it differently. But second of all, it's going to get to a point where they're going to use that as an excuse to control you. And this happens in every single religious dictatorship. It just always happens. They just end up using it as a scapegoat to control you and make you do what they want you to do and like control you as like a sovereignty. So I just think Americans are very stupid because they have that, like, we grow up very privileged. I promise you, if you live in a religious dictatorship, I promise you most Americans wouldn't be able to last for 2 weeks. There's no way.
That's such a great point. Including the religious people. Including the religious people.
Specifically the religious people. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where's my freedoms?
It's like you bitch and moan about wanting freedom, but then you're forcing kids to swallow the 10 commandments in every classroom. I like, it literally doesn't make any sense. I mean, the freaking Pledge of Allegiance was weird as fuck. They forced us to do that every single morning, and I'm like, what am I even doing? Like, you have to stand up with your hand on your heart. I was like, mind you, I was a Middle Eastern kid, and it was during 9/11. So I was like, I don't want to recite this shit. Everyone's being mean to me. But it's also, it just kind of goes into that same thing, It's like, I don't know, we make fun of places like North Korea, but then we do shit like the Pledge of Allegiance. And it's like,
yeah,
all right,
it's very cultish.
What do we do? Totally. Exactly. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even at like liberal town halls, before they take any questions, like I went to Ron Wyden's town hall and they all did the Pledge of Allegiance. I was like literally the only person who was sitting for the Pledge of Allegiance, and it felt so uncomfortable. But I'm like, I will have every eye in this building on me before I do that cult bullshit. Not that I'm like some badass. I just like, I think it's stupid. Like, I was born here. I have no like unique allegiance to the United States. It's like a random fucking place on the planet in this random ass solar system in this random ass galaxy. Like, it's fucking strange to have to like recite your allegiance because I was like, oh, because I was born here. Like, that's culty. That's weird. That's stupid.
I mean, I even think that national anthems are ridiculous. Like the
They
fact
are.
that every sporting event, every time I
Yeah.
watch hockey, I got to see the national fucking anthem on television. Why? If you're gonna do it
Sometimes
there, at
twice.
least like don't air it. Why do I have to see it? Like, leave me.
Yeah.
I'd rather see commercials. Like it's just a waste of time. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And I consider myself much more of an Oregonian than an American because it's less embarrassing. Like, I'm still an American and that's embarrassing, but like, even if I'm like proud to be an Oregonian, which I'm not, I still, it'd be weird if they made us pledge allegiance to the state and then like the federal, like, I just, it's clown shit. It feels primitive.
You're
Right?
a human, Mike. We're all humans. We're
We're
humanists.
humans.
I pledge
Yes.
allegiance to the donut shops in Portland, to the
Yes,
wonderful
absolutely.
coastline, to the beautiful trees.
Oh, yeah.
It is a beautiful state. I gotta say,
Many strip clubs of Portland.
Yes.
So,
they have good
Yes.
pizza there too.
Lots of
Yeah.
pizza, lots of donuts, lots of strip clubs, and most of all, lots of weed shops. So, like 2 on
Mhm.
each corner. So
weed stores. Yeah, I
Yeah.
pledge allegiance to them as well.
indeed. Although Voodoo Donuts, though, they are apparently union busters, so I do not.
Oh no way!
Oh,
that
no.
sucks. Oh man,
I think that's where I went when I was there
Shit.
years
Please,
ago.
when you know something like this, just like keep it to yourself.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, just
No, I
let me enjoy
know.
my weird ass giant penis donut, which I bought and I enjoyed at Voodoo Donuts. Glad.
I have. It might not be union buster, but maybe it's employee violations, but they don't treat their workers well. And I have to say that because I've told everybody who's like coming to Portland who's asked before, like, hey, what should I do? I'm like, I don't know, go to Voodoo Donuts. So I have to like also put that out there since I
That
endorse
sucks.
them. Yeah, I endorse the union buster. Not the first time, Cenk Uygur.
There's got to be other
Oh,
donut shops there, though. I imagine.
There's a
Is-
shit ton of donut
What's
shops.
that one?
yeah.
Blue Star or something Star is really, really good in Oregon. I forget the name.
Yeah,
of it, though.
there's a lot of really, really good donut shops, lots of good coffee shops. Although Cathedral, they don't let their employees display LGBTQ plus flags. So if you're in like the North
In
Portland
Portland?
area, in Portland, yeah, the
That's
owner is a
really
Trump
bizarre.
supporter.
Wow, because
So,
that is a gay city. Like,
yeah, lots of LGBTQ meetups at Cathedral as well because it's a coffee shop, it's mom and pop. You'd rather go there than support Starbucks. I don't know. The more you know.
Oh, Starbucks
Houston-
was in their flop era. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I did,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, there's this new report that came out today, and it says that they're crashing, like their money and their value is crashing worse than it did in 2008. So
what is crashing? Sorry.
like their value as a company has gotten worse
Yeah,
than
who's-
what it
who's
was
they,
in
though?
2008.
That's the part I
Starbucks.
missed. Oh, Starbucks. Oh, yeah, I know. And they're firing lots and lots of their employees. I saw people taking credit for that, saying that this was BDS, and I was like, I don't think that was BDS. I think Starbucks has been in a downward trend for a long time, but they've also been looking because they specifically targeted and closed unionized stores. So I think this was a way of doing a
Yeah.
mass sweep and sending a warning to any store that might think of unionizing, which again should be seen as union busting, and under a different administration might be something investigated, but it's not going to happen under Trump. I mean,
I do think it was jump started with BDS though, but it's kind of interesting that because like after October 7th, they were like their union came out in solidarity with the people in Gaza, and they basically filed 2 lawsuits against the union, and so because they were like the union doesn't represent us and people can get confused and we don't want to be seen making that statement. So people just assume that like Starbucks is pro-Israel or whatever, but it was kind of like a mix-up because Starbucks has pulled out of Israel for over a decade now. They haven't had stores since way before October 7th in Israel. They have no investments in Israel like whatsoever. So if there's a
Yeah,
corporation,
it was really related to the union thing. That's the reason why.
it was
That's why
literally the union. Yeah.
they
But
got
people
roped
got it
into
mixed
that.
up. People thought that they were like, "Oh, it's blood money, it's genocide money," but it's like, no, they actually don't.
Well,
have
it's kind of the same. It's the
Israel.
same thing with McDonald's, right? Like McDonald's has franchises, and the franchises specifically in Israel were the ones that were giving IDF soldiers free Happy Meals. But the totality of the McDonald's corporation did not say that that was the thing that they had endorsed, right? And so that was one of those things where they actually had to buy back all of their franchises in Israel. But at the same time, like I still think those boycotts are good because it does send a message. Like, why are you even opening up franchises in an apartheid regime that is currently doing a genocide? And I think like there's been a lot of victories in that specific style of protesting that have actually, like, I'd say the better one today was the Microsoft one. I don't know if you saw that, but Microsoft's AI systems were being used to help Israel do a lot of their war crimes, and because of 972's reporting, they actually are now going to be pulling out of running AI data centers for the Israeli government, which like that's massive. Awesome. That's like, that's like the same thing as IBM, making like cataloging systems for Jewish people and gay people during the Holocaust, and then trying to deny it after the fact, right? Like it's good that companies feel shame and don't become like Fantas. Like I'm Fanta being like, Coke became Fanta. Like it's good that they feel shame enough to actually be like, this affects my bottom dollar. Like I need to do something about it.
Yeah. Take a win where you can get it. That's good.
Oh, but speaking of wins, did you see the flotilla that like Italy, Spain, and now Greece are all sending military ships to help the flotilla? Like this is historic. Like this is it's gonna be a moment. Like I'm like, I have no idea what's gonna happen. Like, are they actually going to have an international conflict? Is there going to be like, Israeli soldiers versus Spanish Navy seamen? Like, is that what's going to happen? Sorry I'm not trying to make light of it. I just can't say that word without giggling. But either way, it is pretty wild though. Like this, it's unprecedented. It's never happened before. Like the flotilla is always just, it's the same thing. They've been doing this for years. They get in international waters. They basically get kidnapped. They get processed, jailed, released, and then they do it again and again, just trying to bring in food for starving kids. And now they've got actual like Navy vessels flying or sailing next to them. Like that's wild.
Well, I have multiple people that I know on the flotillas. I actually also applied to be on it, but they got 30,000 applications. So obviously, they got 30,000 applications. And the current fleet that they have is 100 boats. Well, it started off with 100 boats, and then Mexico and multiple different countries around the world started setting their own boats too. So it's actually over 100 boats. But one of the boats that my friend is on got bombed more than 10 times by Israeli drones. So that's actually why they started sending the boats, the Navy ships in and stuff like that. And what's crazy is that the Italian parliament, first of all, we saw the one day strike where Italy just went up in flames for a whole entire day. That was because the union, all of the unions came together and they called for a 1 day countrywide strike. It was like totally grassroots and everything. But that wasn't entirely why. The parliament sat on the floor and they were like, we are not moving until you guys send a ship out to protect these flotillas. So it was actually like the politicians in the parliament that really made that move.
And not Giorgia Meloni, you should add, by the way. She is a hardcore Zionist. She's a far right fucking piece of shit. She was against it. It was actually the defense minister and the rest of the cabinet who were like, no, fuck it. Those are our own civilians. They should not be attacked in the middle of the water. Like it's illegal. You can't do that.
So it's actually been super interesting to watch, but no, I mean, my friend uploaded a video and he was like, hey guys, I'm like literally scared for my life. They've bombed us multiple times. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And then a couple hours later, Italy sent out their first Navy ship. So, but also, I don't know if you guys have been watching all of the UN speeches. It's been pretty wild.
Yeah, Indonesia. I mean, Trump's was ridiculous. The president of Colombia today was pretty aggressive against the U.S. and Israel.
No, there's so many people that have gone against U.S. and Israel. Literally, our own allies, Canada, France. Even Giorgia Meloni.
we're still arming Israel, so it's one of those fucked up things where we're trying to wash our hands of the blood while we ship the weapons. It's really gross. Like, I don't want to give Carney credit or too much credit. It's also a half measure because he's recognizing the state of Palestine, but he's not formally going to do diplomatic negotiations with them until Hamas is removed. And now he's saying he's going to suggest putting Canadian troops on the ground to help secure like a new government there. And I was like,
he didn't sound like he knew what the fuck he was talking about. That was a weird
exactly.
answer
I think he just wasn't
what are you
that day or something.
Listen, I'm not saying these people are going to be the crusaders for Palestine. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think this is the first time I've ever seen global leaders from all continents. I mean, I'm talking about multiple African countries, multiple European countries, multiple Latin American countries taking that podium and saying like what you guys are doing in Gaza is wrong. And then we had the Colombian president that literally went up there and was like, we all need to get together and we need to send military arms to help Palestinian people. And then Lula from Brazil went and kissed the top of his head and was like, I agree with you. So like, I think there's some sort of a global solidarity kind of happening because let me say this, as a Middle Eastern person, this is what these world leaders have said has been way more than any of the Arab countries, like period. The Arab countries have not even, they haven't done shit. They haven't even said, like, they haven't even done any virtue signaling. You know what I mean? So I think just like seeing that was really cool. I mean, the only Middle Eastern country I think has tried to help Palestine is Iran, but I don't even think they do it out of the kindness of their heart. I think they do it because they literally have to. Like, they don't have a choice.
Yemen is actively attacking, like, shipping.
Right. Like they have to defend themselves. But and I think Iran was put in a rock and a hard place in that situation too. But when we're talking about the Arab nations have not done jack shit. Like, they haven't even tried to virtue signal. And so I think people like Macron, like all these different people, although I know they probably don't really mean it or they're not going to liberate Palestinian people, I still think it's a huge shift from what people were saying in like 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
It's also unfortunately a sign of how fucking horrifying and bad things have gotten, right? Like, stage 5 famine with hundreds of thousands of kids like starving to death is basically everyone's trying to write their part of history now, right? Like, you don't want to be on the like, I was part of the Holocaust kind of shit, right? So everyone's trying to be like, I tried to drop aid.
Even though they were up to this point, like it's it's important that we also don't forget how long it fucking took them to get here. But also, like the Finnish president came out and called for reform to the UN, saying that no single country should have veto power in the UN. Like that. Which is that is just obvious. Like, why have the United Nations if if the fucking US can come in and be like, no, like, fuck off.
Wait, actually, can I say something?
You know why, David?
Yeah, I know why, but like,
you guys want to know the craziest fucking shit? So I'm sure you know this, Matt. It's Climate Week in New York. Okay, it's been a shit show, but not Matt's face. He's like, yeah, I know.
I actually didn't know it's Climate Week in New York.
Literally, the UN is adjacent to Climate Week, my guy.
I forgot about it.
Oh my god!
I forgot that's how they. I know it's UN. I know the UN's and I know that's going on. I forgot. That's
basically Climate
How have
Week.
you hugged Mother Earth today? I want to know.
I need you to go hug a tree right now, my guy.
Not a big Earth guy. Just not a big Earth guy.
He looks like one. He looks like one, but he's not.
It's played out. Gotta say.
More of a Neptune guy myself, honestly.
So yesterday they have all these events, and it's so funny because in my wait, I can't really tell you guys my real feelings because then I don't want to get iced out. But basically, it's like, let me just put it this way. Every organization puts on their own event, and it's all about what that organization is doing for climate, if you guys catch my drift. So it's like a whole entire week of just events back to back for like creators, people in the industry, whatever, right? So yesterday I was invited to an event. I've been invited to events this whole week, but I only go to the ones that I think are genuine. And the host is somehow, I don't know if he works for the UN, if he's an ambassador, I don't know, right? And so he was wearing this pin that kind of looked like a colored lifesaver, the candy lifesaver. It's like a circle, and it was like a rainbow colored, right? And it had diamonds on it. And someone was like, "Oh, this is like a really cool pin," and he was like, "Oh, thanks. It's the official UN pin. It's made by Swarovski." I was like, "Wait, the UN is giving you guys pins that are literally customized by Swarovski? You guys know the diamond company, right?
Yeah, isn't that crazy
Yeah.
expensive?
Like the UN for Climate Week."
I mean, it's not.
You guys see
it's
the
not
irony,
that
right? I was
surprising.
expecting a reaction
Yeah.
here.
I
The
just
irony
really-
is
That's
so
surprising.
I don't know.
hard.
We live in
That
certain
type of
times where
stuff-
certain
that type of
things
stuff
aren't really
happens all the
shocking
time.
anymore.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, honestly. It is, the irony is obvious, but yeah, it's not surprising
Yeah.
because we live
It
in
is
hell.
gross.
Okay,
So,
Chad is correcting me.
I'm trying to
Crystals,
find it.
crystals. You guys get what the fuck I'm trying to say, okay? The UN is supposed to be there to actually do shit for humanity, not fucking commission nice.
Oh no,
pins.
it's to serve U.S. imperialism post World War II, effectively,
Yeah.
and then just continue
No, I
the
know what they're doing, but I'm just
excavation
saying,
in
like,
the global south.
I'm just
That's
saying-
why the veto exists. That's
geez,
They
you
don't
guys
even
are all being
pretend.
haters. Anyways, I thought it was crazy.
No, I get what you're
so-
saying because they don't even try to pretend, right? It's like the U.S. doesn't even pretend to care about, international law anymore or human rights. Just everything is like a one big joke, and nothing feels real. Everything is fake. Everything just serves the U.S. I mean, if the rest of the world, if they could express their true feelings about the United States and Israel without the backlash, I think like we would be sanctioned by 100% of the world. But they know that there'd be repercussions for that, so they don't do that. But that's what you would expect because like America is terrible, Israel is terrible.
You all colonized us with your fast food and your media, and I want my Netflix, and people want their nuggies, and I want my Popeyes and my Taco Bell, and you'll pry that away from my cold dead hands.
You
glory to the empire.
You can't get your dino nuggies without the U.S., so you've got to put up with
Right?
us. Like it's a fucked up state of
I
affairs.
live off Tim Hortons alone. Come on.
No,
Especially not
though-
now. It's terrible.
I do think
it's
some
kind of
interesting
like a-
things has been happening though, because there was a video of Macron and the Iranian. I believe it was either the president or the UN ambassador, and they crossed paths in the hallway. And Macron actually went up to the Iranian president person, and he was like, "Hey, you and I have a lot to talk about, and we can collaborate on a lot. Like, we're gonna link up." And the Iranian guy was like, "Yeah, we'll definitely do that." Iran and France don't do that. Okay. So that's one thing. And then second of all, I don't know if you guys saw, but Claudia Sheinbaum and the president or leader or prime minister, whatever, of Canada, they got together this past week to make more economic ties together and basically fight against Trump's tariffs and build like more of a decade long.
I got more bad news there. It's not as good as it looks.
What?
Well, like honestly, a lot of what Mark Carney does is just performative, and
He's very performative.
Yeah, it's constantly just about his public facing persona is that he's all about basically setting up business, the core tenets of neoliberalism. We're going to invest, we're going to do all this kind of stuff. It's honestly like he already caved on the Trump tariffs. We've reversed a lot of our counter tariffs. Us and China were the only two countries doing it, and we just turned them off. And I was like, did the problem solve itself? And it's like, no, but it's America. I mean, we can't fight you economically for long. We can try. We can tax the syrup before you get it, and we can stop drinking your liquor. But like, there's only so long that it can go on for.
There was that tech tax that what was it called again? I already forget. But the tax that was going to be on like certain tech companies, social media companies, that Trump was like, "Don't do this," and like the next day, Carney caved. Trump said, if you put this in, we're not going to have a trade deal. Carney caves the next day. There's still no fucking trade deal. And even if there is, how could you possibly trust any kind of thing that Trump would sign his name to when he had violated his own trade deal that he signed? Like, it doesn't. There's no point trying to make any sort of good faith attempts with Donald Trump. Every other country essentially has to kind of wait this out and like do what they can to protect themselves, but you're not going to make him do anything good for you in any sort of long-term way, because you can't even trust that anything that he does that may benefit your two countries is going to continue on, because he doesn't care. So it's
I wanted it to be all positive, because like when he first got elected, I was like, we could now open up way more partnerships with China and Mexico, and we could stop doing so much trade and being so dependent on the US. That would be a great pathway to go down. And like, you know, at first it seemed like that might be the direction because of how strong his language was. And then he just started doing what Trump wanted. He's like, I'm going to be stopping the flow of fentanyl at the border. We're going to be implementing a new bill that's going to make sure that we can do energy excavation. Doesn't matter about indigenous rights anymore. Like, it was just like, he basically adopted and did a lot of the policies of the conservatives in the country to calm them down. And then, you know, I say the opposite about Claudia Sheinbaum. I think she's awesome. And you know, Mexicans correct me.
Yeah, no Claudia slander here.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's mother. She's the new mother.
She's
all right. Every day
world,
when something happens, I was like, I wish Claudia was the fucking prime minister of Canada. I wish she was like, she should become the president of North America. Honestly, get rid of all the fucking dudes who are fucking up the entire continent. Like, we need Claudia Sheinbaum to take over, become mega mother, and like rule us with an iron fist because things have gotten too rough here.
I think she should be the
Shine
North and South America.
You guys were like calling her mother and stuff, so I couldn't help but think Shine Mamala.
Oh no! Why would you put that into the universe?
I don't think you should mommify any politician, even the ones we like. So I'm just making the joke.
That's
I don't
fair.
agree.
That's fair. I will say though, the good news is that we are gonna bail out Argentina. It's not good news.
No money for child cancer research, but $20 billion for Argentina after their failed economic policy in just a year.
Hilarious. I mean, like their anarcho-libertarian dipshit president gets in, fucking crashes their economy, and what do? We swoop in and bail them out with $20 billion. It's funny because like we're doing that here now. Like, you know, Trump, Elon Musk, they both really look up to Milei. But it's like, do you not see what he just did? Do you really want to replicate that? Oh my God. The double thumbs up. It's just too much.
Next to lowering the age of consent, this is the most libertarian thing that's ever happened. To fucking
this is from
fuck everything
right.
up and then be like, I need a fucking bailout right after.
Wasn't there like did he do like a crypto thing too that made them broke?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's so corrupt.
Yeah, he did like a crypto scam that ran them broke.
Yeah, on his own supporters, just like Donald Trump as well. Like, I don't think he has as much corruption scandals as Donald Trump. Nonetheless, the guy's a huge fucking idiot. And I love how Trump's administration, I think it was Besson, who basically admitted that they're giving them $20 billion to help with the election. Because, like, if the economy is doing a little bit better, maybe, then that'll help them get their ally elected. Like, just straight up admitting that we're interfering with the Argentinian election. It's crazy to me. But, like, if you are an anarcho-libertarian and you think that smaller government is better, how do you not look at the 50+% poverty rate in Argentina and not think, maybe I should rethink?
He doubled it.
Wait,
Like,
please tell me
doubled
you
it.
guys. Please tell me you guys saw the video of Trump and Erdogan, because that shit was like.
I haven't watched it yet. Can we
I'll
watch
play it.
I didn't watch the video. I just saw the.
It was so fucking funny. Okay, so backstory. I'm putting it in the private chat right now. Backstory: Erdogan is very, very. For the people that don't know in the chat, Erdogan is a very corrupt politician. He's just generally super corrupt. The reason why Turkey had such terrible infrastructure during the earthquake that happened that hit both Turkey and Syria was because of a lot of Erdogan's corruption when it came to like city codes on buildings and stuff like that. But anyways, he's just a very corrupt politician. This is like very well known. Any protest that comes against him, he basically kills people and he's like, shut the fuck up, and people will shut the fuck up. He's just not a good politician. So Trump saying this was honestly hilarious. Anyways.
Yeah.
Of Turkey. Unfairly, as it turns out. Rigged election, he knows about rigged elections better than anybody. But when I was in exile, we were still friends. That's always a good way to find out, test of friendship. But
oh, that's so good.
Wait, one more time.
unfairly, as it turns out, rigged election, he knows about rigged elections better than anybody. When I was in exile, we were still friends. That's always a good way.
Oh wow,
it's so amazing.
And then there's
They're
another
actually-
clip where Trump is like, I congratulated him for taking over Syria and he didn't want to talk about it. But I don't get it because they were looking after that. They were trying to get that for 2,000 years.
It's crazy because Erdogan is straight up like a Trumpian politician. Trump is following his playbook.
What he
Like it
wanted to
started.
be.
Yeah, it started with like the divisive politics, talking about the opposition as if they're like demonic and shit like that. He drummed up like hyper religious people. And in Turkey, they had a French like laïcité system where like the actual government was above religion. And like Erdogan destroyed all of that. So like mobilized hyper religious people, use that to consolidate power. Same shit that Trump is doing. So like if you're curious as to where this could be going for us, read like Turkish history starting with Erdogan's AKP party. Like super corrupt. There's an article that still blows my mind about how a member of AKP, which is Erdogan's party, went on leave for health reasons. And the health reason was because he hurt his foot kicking, I think it was a protester. Like straight up cartoonishly evil, much like Donald Trump. So it's very similar. So like if you want to see what's happening now, it's been done in Turkey, it's been done in Hungary, it's been done in Russia to different extents, but like there's so many similarities. In other news,
We're quiet for a second.
since we're on the subject
That's a
of the
good cut
Middle
point.
East,
All right. Mm-hmm.
yeah, let me mark that down because I'm keeping track of all the numbers, or not the numbers. What is it
Sorry,
called?
I thought you were still talking. Like I thought the conversation was going. Yeah, anyways, honestly, Trump's rant at the UN was really funny too when he was talking about the escalator and how he's fit and that's why he was able to walk up the escalator and how the first lady is fit. We should watch that too. Honestly, I hate the motherfucker, but he's funny as fuck. Like you can't deny that. Like we can all hate him, but like he's also pretty fucking funny.
He is. He is.
Like
Sometimes he's intentionally funny. Other times, I think most of the time he's unintentionally funny.
Yeah,
just
he's
'cause
just a
so
ridiculous person.
pathetic and stupid. Yeah, if you have the video, we'll play that. There's also there's actually quite a bit of stuff to talk about this week. We won't get to all of it, but yeah, find the
Yeah, let me
the
find it
video
right now.
of him,
I'll find it right now.
The video of what?
of Trump talking about how Melania is fit. That it's crazy how they were flipping their shit about this fucking escalator.
Oh, aren't the Epstein files about to be released? Because there was that special election in Arizona that gave them the numbers they need, and now they can force the vote.
Yeah, once Adelita Grijalva gets to Congress, she could vote, and that's lucky number 218. So leadership is trying to strong arm the people who did vote, like the 4 Republicans, Boebert, Mason, Green,
Okay, it's in the chat.
withdrawing. So
Okay.
it seems like it's going to be released, and Trump is now freaking out because he's worried that his friends are going to be implicated because of the lies that come out of the quote lies. Oh, thanks, David.
The teleprompter is not working, and whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble. I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen, but she's in great shape. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for each one of these achievements. The number 1 political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. I look at London where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor. And it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law. We're getting rid of the falsely named renewables. By the way, they're a joke. They don't work. If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail. And I'm really good at predicting things, you know? They actually said during the campaign, they had a hat, the best-selling hat. Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything. In the United States, we have still radicalized environmentalists. And they want the factories to stop. Everything should stop. No more cows. We don't want cows anymore. I guess I want to kill all the cows. We have a border, strong, and we have a shape. And that shape doesn't just go straight up. That shape is amorphous when it comes to the atmosphere. But the problem is that other countries, like China, which has air that's a little bit rough, it blows. And no matter what you're doing down here, the air up here tends to get very dirty because it comes in from other countries where their air isn't so clean. Let us defend free speech and free expression. Let us protect religious liberty, including for the most persecuted religion on the planet today. It's called Christianity.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Braggadocious. Amorphous.
I say that not in a braggadocious way. Shut the fuck up.
I'm right about everything, but not in a bragging way. Like, there's no other way to say that. It's the most bragging thing you could possibly ever say.
Yeah.
It's just the people's faces too when he was talking was so funny. Like if you zoom in, it's hilarious.
It reminds me of the Simpsons, with Lisa Simpson's at the cafeteria, and Lisa's like, "Is there anything here without meat?" And the lady goes, "Possibly the meatloaf." And it's just like Trev's just like a joke. Like I know he's definitely not making a joke there, but it's just that's like that line is delivered as if he's a comedian. It's just so if he wasn't a politician, he could be a hilarious right wing comedian unintentionally.
A game show host.
Yeah. But he's just a horrible fucking person. So it
It'd be
really
hilarious if he played like the president in a sitcom. Like imagine like, you know, we're in some alternate reality and the president is a complete fucking dipshit narcissist. And like I would watch that TV show. I don't want to live in that TV show, but as a TV show exclusively, I think that would be funny. But like that's the only actual time it would work. Like in real life, it's very scary and annoying all the time. And it just the motherfucker is everywhere. Like you drive down the street, you see MAGA trucks. Or, you know, the MAGA flags on homes and on the trucks with the fucking...
Those are all pedophile symbols now. Like
they
Jesus. Are. Like, yeah. Oh my God.
I hear that the red hat with the letters Make America Great Again is something that all pedophiles are using to identify each other now.
I know.
So that's according to an investigation. Yeah, by the FBI. They released that. So, yeah. So I don't know if you talked about this yet on your stream, Lance. But I did not know the tea that was spilled on Benny Johnson.
Oh, we got a little bit into the old depths of the mancock and the secret semen caves.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about this. I heard weren't there like already questions around this guy based on like other things he had posted?
There were
like
questions.
His ads or something that he was getting on his.
Yeah, I could play that for you, David. Actually, or not play it for you, but I could.
Like, why are they pushing gay porn ads at me? And it's just like because they're reading what you're looking at, bro.
Yeah, it was for gay crews, and to get a targeted ad from Google, that's not one curious like I just want to tempt myself and see. That's like you were ordering tickets, my dude, for you to be getting like cookies, you know, that are like gay cookies in your browser. Like, yeah, he's definitely he's
so
sailed along.
So specific, and I love how like his wife. My husband, Benny Johnson, made this happen. Fafo, like in response. And then I responded with like, your husband's search history made this happen. And if you go to the comment section, it's like a bunch of people pointing out that he is very clearly in the closet. But I did not know that. Well, I'll just play because Lance shared this with me today and it blew my mind. Not really, but just like it made me laugh. I'll say that.
It's some pretty striking evidence. You don't like you said, Mike. You don't reveal this even under torture, right? Like this is like if you had Benny in your hookup history, that's something you take to the grave. So it would take him becoming an instrument of a far right fascistic regime before you'd reveal, yeah, he's straight up gay. Like we've done gay stuff together.
And this person says Benny Johnson is a bottom. I can tell. Actually, no. He's bottom verse and he's a size queen. I can say that with 80% confidence. Nonetheless, this post from Saeed Jones, who I guess worked at BuzzFeed with him, says, I made out with Benny Johnson in an empty dressing room at BuzzFeed holiday party in 2013. Again, right here, like, I would literally never admit this. I would die before I ever said something like this. So
Benny worked at BuzzFeed? Is that where he came
Yeah,
from?
that's where he came
got
from.
fired for plagiarism.
He got fired
for plagiarizing.
Yeah, and so he started drifting the right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So then he became a right-wing grifter. So you could say he's like the OG of right-wing grifting in certain respects, right? But I love how
no, he's definitely not the OG.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe in the modern era, but it haunts me to this day. Anyway, it's funny that he's done literally everything but come out of the closet. Men will literally become traitors to their country rather than go to therapy. And then he actually like explores or expands upon this. Betty, who performed at the holiday party BF hosted at Webster Hall in 2013, everyone got sloshed because of the open bar. Benny and I went into a dressing room and started kissing. Would have gone further, but he said something cringe enough to snap me back to my senses. I rolled my eyes and laughed. That's so fucking funny.
I was like, how cringe did it have to be to like, stop hooking up in the moment? Like that.
I want to know what that was.
Yeah, that's got to be nuclear levels of cringe, right?
Right. Like you have to reveal. If you say this, like you have to give us more.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm definitely not the only guy Benny Johnson has made out with. I've heard him and his wife are swingers. She's pregnant with their 4th child now, which LOL. Anyway, when I warn y'all about sleeper agents, I'm speaking from experience. Demons walk among us. I'm not naming names, but I was just informed I wasn't the only guy Benny made out with that night. So he posts this, presumably, and others speak out. And what's funny is that lately there's been a bunch of viral posts with Benny Johnson that have been making the rounds that I bookmarked to show you all. Let me share that with you. So there's this one from Right Wing Cope. Breaking, MAGA pundit Benny Johnson reportedly furious after Bonnie Blue stole his idea of having sex with 1,000 men in 24 hours. And then there's this AI slop. Breaking news, MAGA influencer Benny Johnson has been caught in a gay scandal. And I love how like this like these posts are going on, and I thought they were just shit posts. I had no idea that he was actually like outed by a former coworker that is spilling a lot of tea. So
I mean, he didn't
not
have
that
to
it's
be
surprising.
He didn't have to be outed by a former coworker for everyone to know to begin with.
That's fair.
Oh man, that's what I was telling Mike. I was like, as someone who's like not really that gay, like on the Kinsey scale, I'm in the opposite end, right? Where like, I often don't think I have sophisticated gaydar the way like, my friends who are fully gay have. And I was like, when I saw Turning Point USA for the very first time, I was shocked to see the host of the show, and I didn't know who he was a flamboyant gay guy. And I was like, I didn't know they were so progressive, but I guess there's log cabin Republicans. And I was just like, okay, I guess that's the whole thing. And then I found out that was Benny Johnson, because in the middle of the Turning Point USA events, he's like, here's my wife, here's my kids. And I was like, what the fuck? No way. And I was like, I guess, I did not clock that guy. I was wrong. I was totally wrong. And like, no, I was, I was right. This
you
like
had
to be
right
fair,
from the get-go.
He could be bisexual. He could be pansexual. Like, that also hasn't been confirmed. But no matter what, you're working with a fascistic regime that's trying to make gay people's lives terrible, while you yourself like love doing it behind the scenes. Clearly, right? Like just like Elijah Schaefer, or like there's the Chasers, like
Ethan
Jones,
guy.
Rogan.
Remember the Ethan guy he'd film himself going into Petco? He's friends with Carrie Lake, harassing them about their pride flags and shit like that. Turns out somebody found his Grindr profile. Hey,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can't remember his last name. I'm blanking on it. I did like 100 videos on this dude because he's so cringe. But he would just like film himself harassing employees during Pride because they had gay stuff, like gay Pride stuff up, going to Target and whatever. And he's Ethan Schmidt, thank you very much to Shimon.
So he's secretly gay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, straight up. And he's very explicit about how gay he is. But he is the one who brought us that viral clip of that Target worker where he's like, "Do you support this satanic homosexuality?" And she's like, "Yes, I do." And he's like, "Which one?" And she's like, "Both." Like that funny ass queen. He brought us her. But yeah, that dude was outed after that happened. Never heard from him again. It's funny because like as soon as they get caught, they run because I mean, your whole career is based on like hating gay people, and then if you're like secretly yearning to have somebody like bust in your face, you're not really going to be able to live that down. Not to like out his specific king, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And they're always
Apparently-
6s on the Kinsey scale.
Yeah, apparently Turning Point USA and CP USA crash grinder servers. So there's a lot of fucking and sucking going down at those events, like, you know, away from the white.
That's the
Bring your
classic
extra
thing
chapstick,
about
fellas.
when like CPAC is in town. That's always been the classic thing where grinders like getting more traffic in that area than ever before whenever there's a big conservative event.
Mm-hmm.
So can we like? I don't want to chalk this up to just this, but there clearly is a large segment of conservatives who are just who may be driven to fascism because they're so angry because they're so sexually repressed, and they're just like self-hating people.
That's what I said earlier. That their whole
hate.
The whole movement is people who are extremely unhappy with themselves and their life, and they need to take it out on other people, yearning for just to feel something better. And they think this is going to be it, make other people feel as shitty as they do. And they do that, but they don't feel any better.
Yeah, of course they don't. I've never understood how making other people feel shitty makes you think that you'll feel good. Like
some people feel that way. A lot of people feel that way.
I can still. I thought about this week. There's a moment where I was like mean to somebody in grade 5, and it still comes up in my mind sometimes, and I feel so bad about it. It's just like I just said something mean that they did not deserve it. I was just mean for no reason, and I still think about how bad I like. How do these people live? Like every single day, their careers are built around being fucking horrible people. It's so wild.
It also explains a lot of the hatred of women too, right? Like so much misogyny is a core tenet and part of conservatism and right-wing beliefs. And if you're a closet homosexual, I mean, you know, that's definitely playing into that as well. Like I hate my wife who doesn't let me, you know, go on yet another gay cruise or another Turning Point USA event where I can, you know, fulfill the need and all that kind of stuff.
She doesn't understand the gaycation.
Yeah, the gaycation. Everyone gets a pass, you know?
And it's crazy how they always like end up either getting outed or they accidentally out themselves. Like Alex Jones, he showed his browser. Yeah, Nick Fuentes. Alex Jones, remember he had trans porn on his phone?
Yeah, he's a chaser.
Yeah, he's definitely a chaser. And then, I don't know if you all saw what Randy Fine posted.
He also Nick Fuentes got caught looking up trans porn as well, but Nick Fuentes, it was much worse when he actually he thought he had stopped his stream, and I guess he was just like, you know, gonna do whatever Nazis do, but instead he started watching gay porn, and then he broadcast gay porn to his audience, and right afterwards he blamed it on Mossad. He was like, "Oh no, this was Israel." I'm serious. He said like that was his excuse right away. He was like, "Israel was making me fucking blah blah blah. They hacked me and they were blasting gay porn."
I mean,
how do these people go on?
Honestly, I kind of love how Israel is just like everyone's scapegoat now. Like anything bad that happens, they're like, Israel! It's all Israel!
They killed Charlie Kirk and exposed my gay porn.
Like the PR for Israel has gotten so fucking bad that you can literally do anything. You can just be like Israel and you can get away with it. That's how bad their fucking PR is. And it's so sad because they've spent millions of dollars to
have the opposite image.
Now people are just using them as scapegoats for like fucking gay porn and assassinations. Like that's crazy.
That's honestly so hilarious. I have to share this with you all. I don't know if you saw this yet. I think this is fine to share because there's no nudity, but Congressman Randy Fine was complaining about leftists and said that they need to be destroyed. Let me show you the leftism in question. If we don't tackle this mental illness, this is what will be roaming our streets all across America. Leftism must be crushed. Now, I, for one, I'm not into kink shaming. I don't know what the fuck this is. But he found this video and attributed it to lefties and posted it. Okay, first of all, I just got to say, people are living lives that I am completely ignorant to.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew people like big accounts who were like actual gay sex workers and stuff, and they were like, I am in the scene and I am in the know. You don't come across this shit unless you've been looking for it, and unless you're going
Yeah.
very, they're like, this is kink, this is very specific kink. And by the way, this doesn't make it by definition gay. Like, you could be a straight person who's into BDSM, and if someone showed video of that BDSM, that doesn't mean that, like, look what the the Democrats are doing, this is what they're pushing, or the Republican, like, that's nonsense. But all you did was you're posting video of kink, and then you're saying this is what the Democrats want, when it's like, come on, buddy. Clearly, like, this is your browser history. I mean, like,
right. I will admit, I am thankful that he's blaming the left and not the gays for that, because like, we're already fighting a PR crisis thanks to conservatives.
Well, you guys are already automatically, in their view, added into our lefty group, because that's how they view it, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't. How do you find that video? Why, and then why would you share it? It's like when, remember in Jordan Peterson, he shared like that pornographic video of like.
Well, now that we played it though, you're gonna search Leftist Mafia in YouTube. The video is gonna come up because we covered it, and now that's it.
Damn it.
It's only a matter of time.
I'm sorry. What were you saying about Jordan Peterson?
No, he shared the video of
the milking.
Fetish porn. Yeah.
And he said this is what's happening in China. It's going to come to the United States, and it was just like British porn, and it was like dudes hooked up to a machine that was milking them.
That was a communist breeding program. They milk forcibly the men, and that turns the super. Like, that's actually what he put out there. Like, just another day.
Forcibly.
What porn were you looking at that was recommended, and you're like, download, complain? What? Where did that?
His own daughter called him out. She was like, "Dad, no, that's fetish porn."
Remember, there was a while there where he would just he was tweeting out the most insane shit all the time.
Yeah, it was unhinged.
I do feel like it's sort of like he's gone out of the spotlight a bit, probably for his own mental health, because he was just.
He got black mold poisoning, the same that took up J.K. Rowling. Yeah, did you not know this? So Michaela Peterson made a giant post. My dad is stepping away from public life for a while. He has unfortunately become very sick from black mold. We were like cleaning out so-and-so in like the space of our house, and he's become infected. He needs to take a step away from like all this shit. Like, I don't know how much
he's so transphobic.
Yeah, maybe this is the source of all transphobia, is this black mold.
Yeah, it's black mold.
If one of your family members says something transphobic, check their house for mold. They could be like suffering in silence.
I mean, there is that lead theory about why crime rates were so high in the what was it, the 70s or 80s or even I mean, and the's the theory that it has to do with lead in the paint. I mean, it could be mold in the house I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense that as these unhealthy environmental factors are dealt with, the world has become a safer place. I mean, there's got to be something to it. I mean, I know causation's not correlation's not whatever it is. Causation's not correlation, but it seems like this is this could actually be correlated.
I mean, look at, just compare this room.
God.
2020. Okay. Not really like super transphobic from what I can remember. 2020, like, let me zoom out a little bit.
I love how this is in Photoshop, by the way. People are going to say, like, no, that one's it's like, it's not. She posted this, just so everyone's clear. Okay. This is her own posts.
Okay. Maybe you can see that now. Oh, there we go. You can see it. Okay. 2022. Completely transphobic, black mold, growing up the walls. And at first, I was like, okay, I try to convince myself this has got to be like, I don't know why there's Russian subtitles, but I'm like, this has got to be like wallpaper or something that she put up. Like the ugliest wallpaper ever that literally looks like mold.
Yeah.
But then you look, this wall, you could see like, it's dirty, but it's not moldy.
No,
but
it's not moldy.
This is actually like black mold. And so it has to explain why she's become so fucking insane.
It is a weird thing to just all of a sudden decide to adopt, to be so fucking hateful for no reason at all.
Right.
And start to reject science in its totality, where you would like end up being an anti-vaxxer and then you start being a flat earther. Like it's just like, it's wild how, like, look at Graham Linehan, like he firebombed his family, his career, his legacy. He's like in the middle of a weird ass trial where he's like talking about how women are repulsed by insects due to their natural biology and all this other weird shit like that.
That's
Like
weird.
you've lost your mind. He maybe got the mold. That would explain it.
It has to be. I mean, something is definitely wrong with that guy when his head is like 4 times as large as the average human skull. Again, not into phrenology, but I'm just saying if we could get the calipers on that big fucking brain of his, it might yield some information. I'm just saying.
Maybe that's the side effect. I don't know.
It is terrifying.
He could just straight up be a Neanderthal that traveled through time. I have no idea. That's not normal though.
It is not.
There was another thing that I was curious to get your thoughts on. I'm sure you all know about the Riyadh Comedy Festival. Let me pull it up.
Oh, did you play the video from the guy from Silicon Valley? It's so good. Do you need it?
Yeah, I have it queued
So
up.
good. Yeah.
So for those who
it's so
don't know, all of these celebrities are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to perform in Riyadh, a country that has done a genocide against the Yemeni people, a country that murders journalists with impunity. And you have all of them here. You have Dave Chappelle, Aziz Ansari, Pete Davidson, Kevin Hart, Louis C.K., Andrew Schultz, Fluffy, I don't remember his name, Whitney Cummings, Bill Burr.
Bill Burr was the only one that made me sad. Everyone else, I'm like, but Bill Burr, what are you doing?
Yeah, and so
Davidson, you don't need this. Like you guys are doing really well. Come on.
Right. And if you listen to Gabriel Iglesias, that's the name. Thank you. If you look at like Tim Dillon's commentary on this, Kyle Kalinske actually did a video. He was like boasting about selling out. He's like, I don't care. They're paying me to look the other way, so I'm gonna do it. It's for money. Fuck off. But this is the response from the guy from The Office and Silicon Valley. Really, really good response.
Guys, it's that special time of year. It's the Riyadh Comedy Festival. And all of your favorite comedians are performing at the pleasure of Turki Al-Sheikh. And he is the head of the entertainment authority over there. And he has so many people thrown in prison because they tweeted stuff he didn't like about the soccer team or whatever, that there's a wing of a prison nicknamed after him where they hang people by their heels from the ceiling. Now, there's a lot of drips, killjoys, and dweebazoids who are saying, they shouldn't do comedy over there because it's whitewashing a regime that just in June killed a journalist and killed Jamal Khashoggi and played a big role in 9/11. Shut up. Name one comedian who hasn't whored themselves out to a dictator. Sinbad in the 80s would go perform for dying Nazis hidden out in Argentina. Mr. Bean would do private shows for Idi Amin. Me and Bibi Netanyahu have collaborated. I pitched him a prank show called The West Bank, where it's hilarious. Like, people in masks show up and eject people from their homes, and they're terrified. They just traumatize these families, and then they can never come home. And it's been going on for years, but this season has been like action-packed. And it's a prank show, but there's also a true crime element because it violates international law and people have been killed a lot. Let's not get our, moral panties yanked up, wedged high in our rumps. Human Rights Watch has been begging the comedians not to participate in the whitewashing of the horrors that are ongoing in Saudi Arabia. Ugh, what a cockblock Human Rights Watch is for comedy. Let's have some fun, let's have some yucks, and let's not look too closely at anything. I'm a hypocrite too.
Yeah, that was great.
This really good.
This is what Tim Dillon said in response. This was shared by the Tennessee Holler. Quote, "Get over it. We're taking the money. Saudi Arabia is paying me enough money to look the other way." He actually says this, and he like doubles and quadruples down. And I think
Tim Dillon's being sarcastic. I'm pretty sure he turned it down, as far as I know.
He did turn it down.
Yeah, that's like he's being sarcastic.
Oh, because he like actually gave a specific number. He was like, "Yeah, they're paying me $375,000."
Is he not?
I think
he's invited.
He's
Okay,
go ahead, play it.
Well, hang on, let me see.
He said that he was fired. According to news sources, he was fired from the festival.
Here is the I don't know what this is from. This is them asking him about this. I think that's Dave Smith asking him. I haven't seen this yet, so.
Are you actually doing that Saudi Arabian comedy festival, or was that just like a Photoshop?
No, of course I am. Everyone should be doing it. Everyone should be getting every dollar they can. This has been my consistent position for my entire life. And, I mean, I don't care if they execute half the comics in front of me. Wanted $500,000. They wouldn't do it. They gave me $375,000. I said, I'll do it. It's exactly on my show what I got paid to do it, and why I'm supporting the regime, the Saudis, Wahhabism.
Private jet?
Oh yeah, what's the accommodations?
And the accommodations, they're dope, right?
I'm staying in the Ritz where they tied everybody up.
So I mean, you could maybe plausibly say that he's like.
No, he
was fired. So he was going to go, but he was fired.
Yeah, he got fired
like 4 days ago.
Okay, so then this was his response. Oh, so the jokes actually did.
He claims because of the jokes that he made. About,
I don't think he was actually ever going. I think this was a whole.
According to CBS News, as a source, American stand-up comedian Tim Dillon, who had been booked originally, was dropped from the bill after jokes.
So you think he accepted it and then was purposely trying to get himself kicked off?
Maybe that's the case. I don't think he ever planned on going, from the sounds of it. I mean, would you say those things if you got booked for that show and really wanted to do it?
That's fair.
Yeah, I also know
Shane
that
Gillis
Shane
turned it down.
Shane Gillis turned it down. Yeah. I'm no fan of Tim Dillon either. It just doesn't.
Let me play a little bit of this so you can all guess, because I'm not familiar with his style of humor, so maybe he was just joking. But he goes on for this is 7 minutes, so we won't watch all of it, but I'll just play a little bit.
Riyadh, baby, we're in Saudi Arabia. Come on, get your tickets now. October.
Come on, this is obviously him. Joke.
October 7th. Just funny how it all works. Not something that I had planned. I think it's very exciting that we're all going to Riyadh. People are very upset about it. They're angry that comedians are going to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. They're very angry. They don't believe in anything.
Okay, maybe.
Get over it.
Maybe this is
it's on Billboard too. Sorry, Binder, you're the guy who's always we got to trust news sources. It's on multiple mainstream news sources, right? Billboard, CBS, they're all telling the exact same.
Are they going by what he's saying though, or do they actually have a source that the Saudis actually canceled him or something? That's the question.
Yeah,
I don't know.
All this information is coming from him.
Yeah,
and if it's all just a bit that he's doing.
But then why would they embarrass themselves by falling for a bit and then printing it as an actual news story?
Yeah, I mean, it's happened before. I remember the morning that a couple of weeks ago, there was all that rumor about Howard Stern being fired by Sirius, and Howard Stern came back from his vacation, and he was supposed to be on the show, and instead Andy Cohen was on the show, and he said that Howard had left Sirius. And there was a big fight this morning, and he's not prepared to do the show, but he's taking over, and be big shoes to fill. CBS News all these news outlets covered it. Andy Cohen is hosting Howard Stern show. Howard Stern had a big falling out with Sirius, and then minutes later, Howard Stern shows up and says the whole thing was a prank with Andy Cohen, and Andy Cohen and him are laughing it up, and they all had to change their news story because. They got pranked. They got fooled
of all time, though. CBS has a screenshot from the actual website for the Riyadh Comedy Festival that had Tim Dillon on it, and it's just a screen grab from the Riyadh Comedy Festival website showing that Tim Dillon was.
Can you share the link, Lance? I can bring it in because, I'm inclined to believe that he was going, because if that's supposed to be funny. It's not, but I'm not familiar with this humor, so
that's his whole shtick. That's his whole. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe
to be loud and stupid. That's his whole shtick.
That's his shtick. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe he booked it and said, let's see how far I can take this and see if I get fired." Honestly,
yeah, I could see that being what he did.
Some of these guys like doing that stuff. Yeah.
Okay, let me bring it in.
I mean. I know for a fact. Well, for WWE just announced that for the first time ever, WrestleMania, not next year, but the year after, WrestleMania in 2027 will, for the first time, will for the first time ever not be in the United States of America. And you know where their first overseas WrestleMania is going to be? Saudi fucking Arabia.
Wow.
And
I gave you another
and
link
it's
by the
because
way, to the website.
the Saudi paying them big money to do it there. Every year the WWE goes to Saudi for the past couple of years. Saudi Arabia has been one of the places WWE goes. They get paid huge amounts of money to do the show. In fact, the Saudi money is like a huge portion of their annual revenue every year. They literally pay individual wrestlers to come out of retirement. Guys who haven't wrestled in years come out of retirement just to do the Saudi show. I remember hearing a believable report from this guy who hosts wrestling podcasts, who's actually married to one of Ric Flair's daughters. So he's like on the inside of knowing how this whole thing works. He claims that he heard that the Saudis paid Shawn Michaels, aka HBK, you know, the guy who started Degeneration X for Triple H, Shawn Michaels. They paid Shawn Michaels $3 million to come out of retirement and have one single match. And he did it, obviously, because it's $3 million. And these guys will do whatever for $3 million, I guess. I think hundreds of thousands is probably on the low end of things. I think a lot of these guys are probably making a lot more. Like if Tim Dillon was the $375,000 moneymaker, then you could only imagine how much someone like Louis C.K. or Dave Chappelle or even Pete Davidson is making. Like this is going to be a big payday.
Bill Burr.
Millions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not, I think this, maybe he was just like trying to like sabotage his own thing, but like, I don't know if I believe that because this guy doesn't have good moral character. He supported Donald Trump. So if you vote for mass deportation, I kind of just have to believe you're a piece of shit. But like all these people going to this, like they're whitewashing this like genocidal regime, and they should like actually be canceled. Like I'm so done with like Bill Burr. I was a huge fan of Bill Burr. He's like one of the few comedians who's not a complete piece of shit, but like if you're accepting this blood money when you're already a multi-millionaire, like fuck you. Like I mean, you can't get shows anywhere else. You gotta grovel before
I do
fucking regime.
Well, it would come down to what your content's going to be, right? Like, are they going to be speaking truth to power? Because you can make an argument you shouldn't be doing shows in the United States either. The United States is directly either materially supporting and or committing atrocities globally, and has been probably one of the world's leading, if not the leading, fucking destructive forces on the planet. So, I mean, if by that standard. Yeah,
but also I don't think they're going to go to Saudi Arabia and speak truth to power, though. I mean, I do wonder what they're going to talk about and if they have to be careful with their content. I mean, when the WWE goes over there, the women wrestlers are wearing full-blown bodysuits. They cannot show their skin. They typically don't wear full-blown bodysuits. They got to be careful. CM Punk back before he got back into wrestling and he was working for a different company. He was making fun of WWE guys for going over there and taking what he called blood money. And then lo and behold, half a decade later, he finds himself back in WWE and he's going to Saudi Arabia and he goes on stage and apologizes for his words to the crowd there. This is what you do, what you got to do if you want to work for some of these companies or work in certain industry that decides, hey, the Saudi Arabia money is worth it. You know,
that's crazy.
I just don't think that like any of these companies that work with Saudi Arabia in this way, who claim to fucking every year come out and put out the Remember 9/11, Never Forget bullshit, I think they could all get fucked, to be quite frank, because you can't do both. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, they had three rounds of declassifications on a lot of the FBI research on Saudi Arabia and 9/11, and Saudi Arabia was heavily implicated. Heavily. Most of the hijackers were from Saudi Arabia. There were maybe 2 from Egypt, but most I honestly read all the declassified documents that I could. And Saudi Arabia had everything to do with it, and the fact that we're so close with Saudi it's very weird. The whole
and yet Iraq got invaded.
Right.
Yeah.
Iraq paid the price.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows just how serious anyone in this country is. I mean, look at all those, like the big golf. I don't know anything about golf, the golf league or whatever. They got bought out by Saudi. So all these sports organizations are working with Saudi Arabia now, as Saudi Arabia tries to whitewash their whole entire history. These are the same people that make you stand up and do the national anthem. Every September, they roll out the FDNY and the NYPD or their local police or firefighters, whatever, and say, thank you to our emergency responders, 9/11, never forget. And then they go ahead and do this shit. I mean, it's all a bunch of bullshit. It's truly all a bunch of bullshit. I mean, the only reason I could see maybe going out there is they're going to pay someone all this money anyway. Go out there, take the money, and donate it to the people, the Palestinians or something. Put it to some use.
And speak truth to power while you're there.
Right.
To be honest,
unbeknownst to people. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, in case people didn't know, much like the Israeli genocide on Palestinians, we are complicit with Saudi's genocide of Yemen as well. And it was a bipartisan effort back in 2018 to use the War Powers Resolution to end U.S. complicity with Saudi's genocide. Like they were doing a mass blockade, starving Yemeni people, and Trump vetoed that in his first term, FYI. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there.
I just think all of these, like Qatar or UAE or Saudi, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Dubai or Qatar. I've been to both, and they honestly feel like, huh?
I don't think I'd ever go to Dubai. Like it's a really big thing for Canadians to work overseas in Dubai for tons of money in the fields that you would be paid very little for in Canada. Like I know a lot of graphic artists who live in Dubai because they get paid bank to work there. And it's like, but you're basically living in an area that's built up by like so much slave labor and like fucking, deplorable conditions for the people and the workers who live there as well.
I mean, that's what I was going to get into. So basically, since Iran is a heavily sanctioned country, you can't get any flights that go directly into Iran. So basically what you have to do is you either get a direct to Qatar, a direct to Turkey, or a direct to Dubai. And then you go from Dubai to Iran. So when I was like a teenager, I went to Dubai, and then I had to go to Qatar when I went to Egypt. But it just almost feels like there's a couple of parts to it. Number one, it feels like almost America's like version of what they want the Middle East to be, almost like a pet project, right? I mean, you go throughout Dubai, it's all a bunch of commercial malls. It's all mostly American or Western companies, right? Anything from Starbucks to McDonald's to anything that you can think of, from fast food to clothing to technology, everything is American. It's almost like what they want the Middle East to be, right? It's all built by indentured servitude. So like they basically lie to a bunch of people from mostly South Asian countries like India, and they tell them that they're gonna give them all this money that they can send back and they can go back to India. No, they bring them out there, they take their passport, and they're like, you owe me $6,000 because I brought you here, and they basically have to do slave labor. There were people that literally died building the Qatar stadiums for the soccer, for the FIFA stadiums and whatnot. I mean, we're talking about Dubai was not even a country 30 years ago. It was literally desert. And I'm not saying this to be like fascist. I'm not saying this to be funny. I can't say that word right now. I'm not saying this to be funny. Like it was literally a desert. It was a desert. And then within 30 years, it turned into this like booming city. And if you actually look at the city, for example, the Burj Al Khalifa, it doesn't have any proper sewage system. So every single day they have to have big ass trucks loading shit in the trucks and driving it across the city because the Burj Al Khalifa does not have proper sewage. The palm is literally sinking multiple inches every single year because they basically put sand over sand over sand, and then they built the palm with the sand, but obviously sand is going to sink because it's not land. The infrastructure of Dubai alone is so ridiculous. It doesn't even work. And I've done so much research on this because when I went there, and also not only that, all of these women that they bring out there to model, they end up becoming fucking escorts. So it's just like there's so much about these Americanized Middle Eastern countries. I think Saudi Arabia is still Middle East, but like Dubai, Qatar, they're all so weird to me. It's like America's pet project, in my opinion, which is why they have done nothing for Palestine either, because they're all America's stooge, basically.
Well, it sounds like that's what they want to do to the Gaza Strip now. Like that's Trump's plans for the Gaza Strip, is to turn it into like a Riviera, like another one of those, like you just described Dubai, essentially.
Yeah. And it's so sad because it's like literally when I was in 8th grade, I remember my dad and I and my brother, we were walking down the street because I wanted food at 3 a.m. and he was like, all right, we'll go. Super broke at the time. So, and we were forced to stay in Dubai because we had a bunch of like issues with our paperwork and stuff like that. And so we stayed in this like sketchy area of Dubai and we were walking down the street and there were women lined up. And when I'm talking about lined up, I'm talking about lines of women standing at the side of the street. And so we passed by one block. I was like, okay, cute. They're all wearing their small dresses, their clutches. Maybe they're going partying. Then there was a second line. Then there was a third block. And then I looked at my dad. I was like, Dad, why are there so many women dressed like this standing at the side of the street? And my dad was like, oh, they're all sex workers. Like they're prostitutes. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's just no hate, no shame towards sex work whatsoever. Like, that's not my point. I just think it's literally a hub for indentured servitude. It's a hub for bringing in people who are poor, who want more opportunities. You basically promise them all these things, and then they end up doing shit that they don't want to do. And I don't know. I hate Dubai. I'm a certified Dubai hater. I've talked about this so much. I've written about it. I made multiple videos about it. I fucking hate Dubai. I think Qatar is the same, and Saudi Arabia is basically the same too. They're all full of shit.
Yeah, the world sucks.
Yeah.
Especially I don't know enough to have an opinion, but that's interesting.
Dubai sucks. Don't go there.
No, I have no interest in going anywhere right now, actually. I feel like this is like the worst time to travel anywhere.
Yeah, I saw an article that Canadians are boycotting Oregon, but thankfully people I saw this on Reddit in the
Oregon, the U.S. It's not just Oregon. But.
Yeah, people in Oregon understand. They're like, actually, the article has it wrong. They're boycotting the U.S., not Oregon. Yeah. And honestly, they should. Like everybody should be boycotting the U.S. right now. I think that is that makes sense.
I know multiple people who had planned to go to the U.S. and canceled trips.
Yeah, same.
Good.
A lot.
Wait, the H-1B visa?
Oh yeah,
crazy too.
Oh yeah, God! Everything happened this week. Do you want to talk about that? Because you probably have more knowledge about it than I do.
Yeah, from my understanding, and don't quote me on this because I could be wrong, but Trump said that there's like $100,000 fee or fine if you have like an H-1B visa that you would have to pay, and you could just see people on boarded on airplanes to come to America on that H-1B visa, literally offboarding because they're like, I'm not paying $100,000. And if you guys don't know what H-1B visas are essentially work visas. You apply for a job. If you have like a special skill, like you're a certain type of engineer or you're a certain type of researcher, you apply for a job and then that job will apply for an H-1B visa for you and then sponsor you to come to America. And so the reason why Elon Musk is such a huge supporter of H-1B is because when he took over a company like Twitter, he fired all of the American workers and he kept on the H-1B visa workers, basically gave them the workload of 4 people each because he knew that they were desperate for that H-1B visa. And so a lot of companies will take advantage of people who are, in countries like India a lot of the H-1B visa holders are from India, but you can literally be from anywhere and hold an H-1B visa. And so that's why Elon Musk was like, I will literally go to war with Donald Trump over the H-1B visas because Tesla, Twitter, Neuralink, a lot of his companies are literally ran by H-1B visa people that he sponsors for H-1B visas.
And they become his servants, right? Because if they lose that job, they're out of the country. So that's the power that he holds over these people.
Yeah. So if you lose your H-1B visa, you got to go. You don't, there's not even a day that you can, you get like a 1 week, 2 week grace period, but you need to go essentially immediately and you don't have a choice. You could stay here, but then your paperwork is going to be expired.
And so it went from, it was $1,000 per year from my understanding for employers. And now it's $100,000 per employee per year. Is that correct?
Yeah. From my understanding, I could be wrong though. I know they have to pay $100,000. I don't know if it's per year or if it's like a one-time thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know the fee is $100,000.
So no employer is going to pay that at all.
I mean, the thing is, H-1B visas, I'm from the Bay Area. grew up with a lot of people whose parents were on H-1B visas. I do think at one point H-1B visas were great because they were bringing these people from these different countries and they were paying them just as much as Americans. And like my father would work with a lot of H-1B visa workers at, you know, like tech companies, and they would all be paid the same and be essentially treated kind of the same as well. But then we saw this huge like tech bubble boom during COVID where people were getting hired and everyone wanted to do software engineering. But then that bubble bursted. So now a lot of people in Silicon Valley, where I grew up in, a lot of people that traveled there to work, they all left. A lot of people got laid off. And then the H-1B visa workers are like holding on by a thread. And now companies have kind of moved towards taking more advantage of them, like Elon Musk. So I think it's kind of morphed into what it is now.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely needs to be reform because people should not be exploited because of this program. But the $100,000 is just going to keep people out, which is what Trump wants. And he seemingly sided with Elon Musk, if I'm remembering correctly, on the H-1B debate. But this seems like it's kind of like, with that big of a barrier, it just seems like nobody's going to go for that.
He was never like fully with it. He was like, yeah, I'll listen to you kind of thing. Like, I'll tolerate you. But he was never a fan of H-1B, like, ever.
Yeah, because he was opposed to it, like, in his first term, if I'm remembering
he's never
correctly.
been a fan of H-1B, ever.
Yeah.
And that was actually
that's
the reason for
insane.
their falling out, because they had this whole falling out over H-1B on Twitter, and then you never saw Elon Musk with Trump again. And their falling out was actually because of H-1B.
Until the Kirk Memorial, where they
they did get back together because of Charlie. That's what Elon
I think
said.
that was just for formalities. I still think they hate each other, to be honest. I don't think they can stand each other, which was bound to happen because they both have these crazy egos and personalities.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, they were going to clash at some point.
It's crazy because, like, when Elon Musk was still part of the administration and there were talks of him leaving, I'm like thinking, wow, it'd be awesome if he did leave because things will still be bad with just Trump, but at least they won't be like as bad seemingly because we've got Elon and Trump. And then Elon goes, then Trump gets like 10 times more authoritarian. And it's like, man, maybe it wasn't as bad when there was also Elon when he was doing all the damage, or maybe he was just like distracting us. It's just, it's such a fucking catastrophe. It's annoying. Every morning you wake up and you're like, oh, what happened today? Who's the new enemy? What event happened that's going to be blamed on the left that they're going to write anti-ice on the bullets for, or whatever the fuck? It's just, yeah, it's just another day.
That was the name of
you say that.
That was the name of my high school and college punk band, by the way, Mike. I don't hear that phrase every day. It's pretty crazy you used it. It's a fucking catastrophe. I'm being dead ass. I'm being serious. That was the name of my band.
Oh, I remember you saying that actually.
That's a good name.
I thought you were saying
Good
that
name,
your band's
actually.
name was Anti-Ice at first. I'm like, that's
no, it's a fucking catastrophe.
Well, you should bring them back because
I should.
It's appropriate.
But I heard you say it though. I was like, wait a minute, did he just
To give a shout out to Ken Klippenstein for once again doing the reporting that journalists won't do, and know, in hours speaking to like close friends of the shooter and getting all the like inside story before the narrative could be artificially set by the Kash Patel clown show.
Yeah, honestly, he is one of the best journalists in the country right now, hands down. With that being said, I think that like somebody could wear a MAGA hat with a gun, film themselves, and say, I'm doing this for Trump, and then commit a crime, and they'd immediately blame the left, or say that he had like a trans girlfriend or something like that.
I did that with the Nazi shooter who had a literal swastika tattooed on his chest.
That's true. Yeah, true.
It doesn't matter.
No, he's not a white supremacist. He's not white.
Yeah. The left will be blamed for every single thing going forward, and it's so frustrating because the left and liberals, they're the ones who want the gun control that would stop violent events like this. So we don't have just gun anarchy, so where you can like fucking buy a gun in an alleyway. Like, we're the ones trying to stop this, but it doesn't matter. Going forward, every single time something like this happens, we're gonna have to worry about, oh, what civil liberties are we gonna lose today? It's so just like infuriating.
I'm gonna jump off, guys. I need to get to bed. But it's been
Take care,
fun.
David. Feel better.
Bye.
Great to see you.
Peace.
Well, so we get to super chats.
Let's do it. Do you want to go first,
Alright.
Ariana? Or should I?
Yeah, I have like 3. Thank you so much to the people who donated money. I know that the economy is rough, so appreciate you. All right, let's go through these really quick. I don't know what this is. Is this? Oh, that's not mine. Wait, that is mine, but it's
I skipped one
below
ahead
it.
too.
Do you guys know what currency that is?
This is rupees, I believe.
Oh, cool.
How much is 200 rupees?
It's like $20, $10.
Oh,
Probably
really?
like $10, I think.
Oh my god, thank you for the $10. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. When it comes to being sad, miserable, depressed, vindictive, left beats right, listen to yourself. Also, when you say religion, do you think Islam is also a problem or just Christianity? I think first of all, about the leftism, I think that a lot of leftists are more doomer pilled because we see the reality of things as opposed to people on the other side who tend to be a bit on the more delusional, uneducated side. And I'm not saying this as a shade. Republican voters are just generally less educated than people who tend to vote Democrat. So I think when you understand reality, you tend to be a bit more doomer pilled. And when I mean religion, I'm talking about literally any religion. Mainly, we're talking about the 3 Abrahamic religions, right? But truly any religion that is taken to an extreme form will be used as a problem and will become problematic. And this, I can even say the same thing about Scientology or like, cults, right? I mean, whatever, any belief or ideology that is taken to an extreme is a problem, and that's kind of the point that I was trying to make.
Fundamentalism
It's also about
is the problem.
Yeah.
Not the
Yeah.
belief systems.
It's also about like the religion that has power in a country. That power dynamic is always going to shape like what happens in the country. In America, Islam is not a problem. Full stop.
Yeah.
It's Christianity. They are the majority. Now, if you go to Egypt, well, then Islam is in the majority, and they are more oppressive of Christians. It just depends on the context. But it is fundamentalism. It is when religion gets intertwined with government where you start to have all of the problems. Like, religion itself is just like people, I think they ascribe their own beliefs to a religion. But I mean, you can have a religion and people can believe what they want to believe. The problem is then when you try to impose it on everybody else. So within the United States, that's why there's this like hyper focus on Christianity. Like, we don't have to be neutral because we're not dealing with other religions. Like,
Right.
I'm not worried that Hindutva is gonna take my fucking rights away. It's Christians. They're the ones in power
Right.
legislating. It's Christo-fascists in particular. So that's why there's this focus. It's not because like Christians in particular are uniquely evil. In my experience, I harp on Christians more because Christians are my entire family and in my circles. So they're the ones who are currently oppressing us. Not all of them, but like they're in the power.
Also, just to be fair, as someone who used to be an avid reader of the Four Atheists of the Apocalypse, like Christopher Hitchens and Richard Dawkins, I think I've read most of Dawkins' books. Like I was obsessed with some of those writings. They became insufferable racist pieces of shit later in life.
Exactly.
So it's even the atheists can become huge ass fucking weird pro-Israel transphobes. Like
Yeah.
Richard Dawkins ended up becoming. So it's not.
They revoked Richard Dawkins' Humanist of the Year award because he was a transphobe.
Like, I know. Because he
have
rejects science. Like, if
Yeah.
you watch, shout out to Sean's latest video. It was so cathartic for me as someone who used to really like Richard Dawkins that he went through and debunked all of his bullshit, science, and been like, he's become everything he ever hated. He has a creationist view of our current understanding of the idea that there's a binary between sexes, and he's like, if you look at the actual science of this, he couldn't be more wrong, but he's refusing to actually take in the modern scientific understanding of the sexes because he wants to push a transphobic agenda like a creationist would. He became everything he ever hated.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it doesn't matter. Like, it's all about the fucking the dynamics, power dynamics. That's like the stress. Like, it ain't nothing personal against Christians. It's just that Christian nationalists have power right now, and so if you're not one of them, if you're not a Christian nationalist, if you're just like a regular Christian who goes to church every Sunday and shit, you're not the problem. It's the people with the power that's the problem.
Yeah.
But don't try to push that shit on me because I don't want to hear it.
I just think any belief, from being an atheist to agnostic to, I don't know, Hinduism, Buddhism, Abrahamic religions, whatever. Once you take it to an extreme level and you try to use it to control other people and like try to turn other people, that's what I fucking hate. Like, for example, I just recently learned from one of my indigenous friends that Mormons, a lot of indigenous people in America, well, not a lot, but there's a pretty big population of indigenous people who are Mormon, and that's because of colonialism and all of that. Obviously there's a huge history that goes into that, but I just like when you look at residential schools, when you look at just colonialism, especially in our continent of like Americas in general, South America, Central, whatever, North America, like I think religion has just been used in like very terrible fucking ways to control people. And that could be any religion, right? You go to Israel, it's extremist, you know, Judaism beliefs or whatever. You go to Iran, it's like, you know, using Islam. It's wherever you go, it's going to be something different, like Mike said, but it's just like it could literally be anything. If you
it's
use
also
it
literally used for nefarious purposes. Like read what Marx said about religion. You know, it's like if you think about it, it's very useful for capitalism because, you know, you're poor on earth, but, you know, just wait, you'll get your riches in heaven. Like, so it is used by governments to reinforce like oppression and stuff like that, aside from just like fundamentalism. So like, you know, you just have to be nuanced about it, right? I am all for people believing and practicing whatever they want. But in order to have a multicultural society and a pluralistic society, everybody has to agree that we can agree and we can have different beliefs or lack thereof. That's liberalism. You know, that's if you want to live in an open society, you've got to be open to people you disagree with.
right.
Unless they're fascists, because you don't have to tolerate intolerance. So,
All right, Snake, I hope you can make it on the flotilla. I didn't get on it. But more power to all my friends that did. Free Palestine. Good luck to the people of the world who are oppressed, Thank you, Ariana. Great conversation. Oh my God. Thank you so much for the $20 and being number 1 in chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a member, $10, and number 2 in the chat. I appreciate you. Christianity is not the problem. Fundamental extremists are. Exactly. The same thing applies to all religions. Look at what's happening to Judaism too. It's a worldwide problem. Wow. Okay. He just like unknowingly completely condensed our conversation into a sentence.
very concise. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the $10. Tylee, thank you so much for being a member, and thank you for the $1 sticker. I appreciate it. Looney, thank you so much for being such a great moderator. Ari, sneak peek before my stream tomorrow. I love how Jillian Michaels got owned, like the definite Karen she is. I'm covering that tomorrow. Love you. What's going on?
She walked off of her own show because she didn't like mild criticism of Benjamin Netanyahu, and said Anna Kasparian apparently was just doing Israel bashing, and she didn't ever want to be a part of a show that just does nonstop Israel bashing. And it was a complete meltdown, and it's really funny. And she walked off her own show, and I was value-tained. I was very value-tained. So
me too. She apparently quit the show as well because she was butthurt that they talked about her storming off on the Young Turks. And look, you don't get them a lot these days, but it's a rare Anna win. I think that she is absolutely fine to talk about what they were talking about. She wasn't like actually promoting a conspiracy. They were discussing the conspiracy itself about Israel and Charlie Kirk. So, but I mean, Jillian Michaels is somebody who does not know what the fuck she's talking about. I don't know why she's trying to do politics. She just doesn't. She doesn't know what the fuck. She's the same person I'm remembering now. A couple of weeks ago, that was on CNN, and she was talking about slavery. What did she say? Oh my God, she said something so stupid. I talked about it in the video.
It was Stormfront talking points. It was like, why aren't we allowed to ever talk about how white people ended slavery? Why can't we talk about how black people in countries in Africa sold slaves to other fucking Europeans? Why can't we ever talk? And all the people on CNN were like, they didn't know whether she was doing a bit because of how fucked up it was. They were just like, wait, are you serious? Like, wait, no, and it's really funny for someone who's talking about how we can't talk about anything. She's like so triggered by the mildest of like fucking comments by Anna. All Anna said is like, Benjamin Netanyahu is a really bad guy, and like you should be able to say that as an American. And she's like, okay, fine, I'm done, I'm out. I didn't know that we were just going to bash Israel for the entire show. That's not what I signed up for. You know, all this kind of shit. I was like, oh my God, that's wow.
Snowflake. Somebody who's all about debate all of a sudden, right? I've got to say, listen, Jillian, if you're watching, as a huge fan of Jillian Michaels' Fitness Ultimatum 2009 on the Nintendo DS, I've got to say, I am selling my copy of that, and I'm no longer a fan. I hate you now. I was a big fan before.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for the $5. And good luck on your stream tomorrow. Bay Photo, thank you so much for the $5. I believe the executive order left the ability for Trump to waive the $100,000 fee if you kiss a little orange butt. That's really funny. Honestly,
True.
probably, given how he's moving. Lizzie, thank you so much for the $10. I've been to Dubai for a business trip. Aesthetically, it's amazing, but there's something unsettling about it. I couldn't put my finger on it. Plus, I'm an atheist. Thank you for the trivia. Won't be returning. Do not go to fucking Dubai, guys. If you want to go somewhere where you're actually going to learn and it has culture. You know what I mean?
Like Israel, right?
Oh, God. Well, you could go to Israel and meet the chosen people, which could be fun.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Honestly, the whole idea of the fact that they're convinced that they're chosen people is just so wild to me. Okay, anyways. Thank you so much, My Throw, for the $5. I really appreciate it. Notice all of the wettest mouths from bootlicking are themselves behaving more and more like Trump. Inevitable stabbing in the back. Man, I don't know. All I do have to say, though, is that Republicans make a lot more money than we do. So, I mean.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
I get it. Republicans and centrist Democrats, like the Brian Tyler Cohens of this world. If you're a Republican or a very centrist Democrat to where you fall in line and you're basically licking Kamala's boots wherever she walks, then yeah, you're good. You're going to be making a ton of money. They're going to love you. You can basically have your own bunk bed at the White House. But anything other than that, no, you gotta go.
Compared to like Steven Crowder, who was offered $50 million from the Daily Wire, Brian Tyler Cohen is probably poor by comparison. He was like one of the biggest figures on the left. Him and Hassan, even though they're both multimillionaires, I'm sure, like they're poor compared to like the biggest names on the right, which is so sad. It's so sad, but that's the world we live in.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, but you know, it is what it is. All right, guys, I love you. I'm gonna bounce. Have a great night.
Peace.
Love you, Leftist Mafia gang. Bye.
Take care.
See you, Ariana.
Bye.
Do you want me to
go?
Yeah, you can go, Lance.
Tokyo Hans with the 500 yen. Thank you very much. Benny Johnson is the reason Grindr breaks at every RNC event. There's going to be a lot of those today. Appreciate it. Karachi, thank you for the $2. Steve, balls on bros Crowder. Yeah, we didn't even mention Steven Crowder when we were talking about the closeted right wingers.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the receipts are pretty bad. His ex-employees said they made him frequently uncomfortable by making them do sketches that had no purpose outside of, you know, clearly being a fetish that he was exploring. And,
I don't want to wear dresses to own the libs.
Don't make me rub butter on a man to own the libs. It makes no sense. So you know, there's that
Diabolical shit, man.
ZX the Almighty, thank you so much for the dono. Everyone canceling their Disney subscriptions reminds me of the D&D OGL scandal where everyone canceled their D&D Beyond subscriptions so much the entire site crashed. Do either of you know about that? I'm not
I
not
don't
big
know
on
about
D&D
that. I know there's a lot of like shit going on in like the Magic and the D&D community, or no, Wizards of the Coast. It's like I'm not all in that world. I remember seeing a Philip DeFranco segment about that, and my husband knows a little bit more than I do, but like yeah, there's a lot of like community infighting and anger with the company. I think I shouldn't speak on it because I really don't know, but I've heard of it, but I'm not privy to a lot of it.
Thank you very much to Riddle Receive. For the $4.99, my dad heard me say the Pledge of Allegiance when I was 5 years old. He told me he better not ever hear me say it again, and I never have.
Wow.
Cool ass dad. Yeah. Bay Photo, thank you so much for the generous $10 dono. As an American, I can't help but feel Carney is sending Canada down the Biden 2020 path. You still have PP lurking, waiting for another move. There's too many similarities. To all the Americans watching, I'll tell you this. When Carney got elected, he did the things that Pierre promised. And by doing that, Pierre has now gone much further right. So heed the warning. This is the ratchet effect. if you normalize right-wing policies the way that Ezra Klein wants you to, the way that Gavin Newsom wants you to, like the way to win in red states is to get rid of women's reproductive freedom or to go after trans people, you end up with a more extreme right because you've adopted their policies. And that's what's happening here. Now Pierre is talking about how immigrants are fucking poisoning the blood of the nation, trans people are destroying the gender ideology, dynamic wokeness is in the classrooms. He's gone so much further right as a result. He used to be like axe the tax, and now he's saying all this fucking far right shit. So that's what happens. Don't do it.
That's so depressing to hear.
Yeah. Curious Adams, thank you for the very generous $10. Thank you from Anna Loves Riley. Appreciate it. Appreciate Patreon supporters supporting the YouTube stream. Thank you so much. And finally, Looney Tunes 9000. Thank you so much for the $5. Well, long time no super chat. Anyways, I was thinking of the Tammy R. Peterson, Jordan's wife, replaced Jillian Michaels on her take. If she's a public figure, I mean, I was, when I found out Jillian was leaving, I was like, oh no, how are they going to find another fucking right winger with very malleable beliefs that can basically do whatever the rest of the right wants at any given time? There's a shortage of that. Oh no. And then finally on Twitch, thank you so much to Arch265 for subscribing, Onyx XW1 as well. Thank you to Liv Agar, a big fan of Liv Agar, everybody, for rating. Everyone go check out Liv's channel. Fluvius33, Maple Takes, Timmy Caffrey, Lou Biffo, and Blue Room. And take it away, boys.
All right. Did you want to go first, Matt, or did you want me to?
You could go ahead. You could do it.
Okay. I don't think we have too many today, so we should be out of here relatively quickly.
It's a slow day.
Slow day. Slow week in general.
For money.
Grand Regent says the Viltrum Empire, this is from the TV show Invincible, I believe, would be so much better than what we have now. Free healthcare and education, no war, poverty, hunger, disease. Well, then I welcome our Viltrumite overlords. Absolutely. Riddle Court, thanks for being a member. Really appreciate that. Also asks, just wondering if you're going to use the intro I made, y'all. No pressure. It was dope to hear it when you did. Much love for the work you put in. Yeah, we're gonna use that. We have two other alternates, or one other alternate. We have our classic one and yours, and we'll definitely shuffle them from time to time. We're gonna play our main one mostly, but yeah, we'll definitely mix that in for sure. Thank you for making it again. It was very, very good. Asa says, this is why I'm agnostic, absurdist, existentialist. Don't blame ya. Let's see who's next. I think it's Asa, who says we need a better national anthem, in my honest opinion. Or just none. I don't think we really need it. It's just not necessary. Rolando says, Jimmy Kimmel met the moment in his return. It is joyful that Donald Trump likely hate watches all the late night shows as they repeatedly pound him. I watched his return, and Jimmy Kimmel didn't say anything shocking, and I've never heard him say anything shocking. So if something like as arguably milquetoast as Jimmy Kimmel triggers Trump so bad, it just goes to show you how thin-skinned he is. But yeah, I think that Jimmy Kimmel's returning monologue was really good. I like that he didn't shy away from criticizing Trump. He addressed it. Nothing that should ever get you canceled or even any like criticism, because it's, I mean, you could criticize him, but like it just is so non-controversial. But I mean, what are you going to do? Asa says Zelensky sent support to Palestine with Ukraine. Oh, okay, good to hear that. Any support that these countries send to Palestine is definitely welcomed, especially like given Ukraine's predicament right now. If they're doing that, then there's no excuse for anybody else, right? Get invaded and then still try to help out another country. That's, that's great. Bayphoto says, times are stressful. Use my membership money to buy some Tylenol. I won't take Tylenol. No, I heard that it's gonna turn my baby into neurodivergent, and you can't have that. That's like the worst thing ever. And also, that was a whole nother story we didn't cover. But no, there's no conclusive evidence that the correlation in one study that an author has even made clear does not link to Tylenol and pregnancy. Very, very stupid. Elise, thanks for becoming a YouTube member. Let me see here. Message deleted. This is from Just Tyler with $10 in rupees. Thank you. We have free mental health care. Watching you cry, moan, lead sad lives. Being depressed is free. Complaining about Anthem. Trump is Hitler, but Kimmel can't be canceled. But it's fascist country. Well, listen, I'm glad that listening to us bitch and complain is healthcare to you, please continue to send money and watch us bitch and complain. I think that'd be great. Appreciate that. I'll be especially triggered if you send like $20. Don't do that. I'd be so offended. Bastel says trans rights. Hell yes. Jeremy says they're putting the responsibility of governing on us while they get paid for it. That's true. Luna says, did you enjoy Jon Stewart's compliance show? I thought it was great. I think he could have taken it a little bit further, been a little bit more edgy. Nonetheless, I did enjoy that. Canadian Goose. Okay, here we go. And thank you for the 20 Canadian, by the way, very generous. Hi, Ariana, Mike, Matt, Lance, and David. Just wanted to bring to attention a story from Phoenix where a 49-year-old man was arrested on September 17th for threatening to shoot up a local LGBTQ plus bar. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That is incredibly scary. Whenever these kinds of things happen, like a shooting, there's always copycats that follow immediately afterwards. And it never fails. It's just makes you feel like you're going crazy. Jay Myrtleman, thanks for the 20. Very generous. Just saying hi. Nice weekend, all. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Tara says, someone said this, but it rings true. Republicans believe being gay is a choice because they are choosing to be straight. 1,000%. Even before I came out of the closet, I was making that argument. Like, not publicly, but I would say it's a choice. And then I'd think, because I'm choosing to suppress it. Like, I actually had that thought. So they're kind of telling on themselves when they do say that, for sure. 180K Chan says, South Park episode wasn't the most funny, but the ending with Kyle's mom calling out Netanyahu was nice. I haven't seen that yet, but I'll check it out tonight, probably.
It's I wonder if is the FCC guy Brian Carr, is that his name?
Brendan Carr, yeah.
Brendan Carr. I'll just say that he won't be changing his avatar to his South Park character.
Okay. I'm glad they featured him.
No spoilers, but that's all I'll say about it.
Sounds like South Park learned their lesson about how to portray people on their show so they don't try to turn it around and try to take advantage of it, right?
Yeah.
As they should. V-Man says, is it the strangest and saddest spectacle that an entire people, young and old, celebrating freedoms they think they have but don't? Ramon Emetero Betances, father of the Puerto Rican nation. That's a great quote. Rachel says, Maj Jabroni hurts the most. What is he thinking? I've never heard of him, but yeah, a lot of these comedians, I don't know what they're thinking. They're thinking money, which is embarrassing because, again, they're all millionaires already. So, like, is this really essential? Sell out your soul for, like, more money that you don't need? Rachel also says, we do nothing to stop UAE funding war in Sudan. Yeah, that's true. We're complicit with, like, every negative thing happening on the planet, essentially. Almost everything, right? The next one here is from Jeremy, who says, heading out, I have to work early tomorrow for fucking Pokemon drop. I now fucking hate Pokemon. I hate retail life. Night, everyone. Love you all, unless you're waiting for me to open for Pokemon. Well, hey, you try to have fun. I'm sorry you have to deal with retail. That is not fun, but yeah, I don't miss my retail days, especially like midnight drops. And thank you so much for the gifted membership, Jeremy, as well. And one last one, AOC beats Schumer by foreign polls. I saw that. Yeah, it'd be good if she ran for the Senate. I know that there's a report about her possibly running for president or Senate. I think she should run for the Senate because if she runs for president, then she's going to likely have to give up her House seat. You don't want to do that. Like, you want to secure that spot in the Senate and build up your resume in the Senate. Like, I would love to see somebody like her run and win. I don't know if that's possible with how fucked up our country is, but I think she'd have a better shot if she were in the Senate first. Like, if you slayed 2 Democratic leaders in your career, like, that's a good resume. Rachel Atwood says 49 House Dems are calling to recognize Palestine. I mean, that's good, but it's not a good substitute for, like, ending complicity and not sending them weapons. It feels a little bit more performative to me. Like, I'm not trying to be too pessimistic, but like, it just feels like they're trying to placate us. You know, this is really the barest minimum that you can do. But I mean, yeah, it's hard, right? Jeremy says, lied, one more. Abdul El Sayed, U.S. Senate in Michigan. Yeah, he is awesome. I hope he wins. Let's see. We have. Oh, it looks like Grand Regent resent this. I'll read it again since you sent it and you spent $5, so I'll just take the time to read it. Viltrumite rule would be so much better for healthcare and education, no war, hunger, poverty, disease, global unity, and class consciousness. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but I don't think they're actually real, unfortunately. They sound great though. They sound like the imperialists that we would actually like for a change. Chris Corcoran, really hoping there's a South Park RFK episode. That would be amazing. Ben Riley says, have you guys read The Age of Surveillance Capitalism? Explains everything. Also, ever reach out to Live and Learn? I have not read that. That sounds interesting. I have not reached out to Live and Learn. Next one is also from Ben Riley, who says, what if after Joker or MAGA, we get Bane post-MAGA? Anything's possible in America. Octo Wolf says, I'm now helping James Tallarico. Good. Glad to hear that. Definitely tell him not to take money from the organization that's being bankrolled by Miriam Adelson, and try to get him to swear off AIPAC money if you have any sway within the campaign, because that's really important. He seems like the most promising option out of Texas, but like if you can nip that in the bud now, that'd be awesome if you have sway. Don't know where you're at, but. And last but not least, Ben Riley says, the online left is so isolated, we basically need a networking structure comparable to what the online right has. Yeah, definitely agree. That's all I have, Matt, so you are free to take it away.
All right.
Oh, I got one more, but I'll let you go.
Let's see. We got where is it? Tokyo Hans with 5 gift memberships to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Tokyo Hans. And then Silverfang with 5 gift memberships as well, back to back. Thank you so much. Riddlor CVE with a super chat. I grew up Christian and it was not for me. I can tolerate some liberation theology, but that's about it. Christianity breaks people's brains. Tokyo Han says, if you guys are going to talk about Turkey politics, I recommend the smallest Turkey streamer to come on. I think his name is Hank Pecker or something. What? Oh, I see what you're. Oh, okay. Right. We'll get Hank Pecker on this show immediately. A nice classic Turkish name, Hank Pecker. Tokyo Hans also says, when Trump talks at the UN, I always feel bad for the translators. Tokyo Hans with another super chat says, fascist mantra, gay for me, but not for thee.
True.
Well, John Jeffrey, member for 3 months, super chat. Good to see the crew tonight. Hope everyone is doing good in these stressful times. Thank you, John Jeffrey. I appreciate it. Gates 9 with a super chat. I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Looney Tunes 9000. Dennis Prager had to reschedule his debate with you. What? I wasn't supposed to debate Dennis Prager. I don't know what you're talking about, Looney Tunes.
Joke?
I don't get the joke. I'm confused. Maybe it was an inside joke and I don't even remember it. It's so inside. I'm on the outside. Amateur PWN with a super chat. Trump is worried about an escalator, but we all know the real threat is the radical lift. That's a good one. That's very funny.
Nice.
I like that one. That's a good pun. I enjoyed that one. The radical lift.
I had one more from Lizzie who sent it saying, if you're in the NYC area and not doing anything, there's a Stop the Genocide March to sanction Israel at 9 a.m. tomorrow at the UN. Please attend if possible. Thank you, Lizzie, for pointing that out. That's awesome. That's all for super chats. Do you have anything on Twitch?
Slow day. Slow day with super chats.
It is
It's
a
okay.
slow
I get
day.
People struggling and people figuring things out, people busy. I get it.
In
I get it.
general,
And I
this is a
haven't.
really slow time. Just
I've
on
been busy
YouTube.
too. I get it. Yeah.
Views are down across the board for everybody. Just in general, season change. It's
Yeah. Well, that's the show.
Did you have anything on Twitch to plug?
No,
or,
I
mean,
don't.
shout-
Oh wait, Looney Tunes 9000 just dropped. Resubscribed for 9 months at tier 1. Subscriber for 21 months. Thank you, Looney Tunes 9000. I was joking about the Dennis Prager, Johnny Somali debate. Anyway, fuck the Mets, go Yankees. Boo! What are you kidding? No, don't.
Oh, you got
fuck
one
the
more
Mets.
super
The
chat.
Mets
Here you
are-
go.
Oh, I do? John Deere with a super chat. Upbeat news. Last weekend in a major environmental success story, Chicago held an open water swim on the Chicago River. Really? Wow. All right. Yeah. Good to hear.
That's everything. Lance, do you have somebody we can raid on Twitch that you'd recommend?
Yeah, I just got one more, so let me just quickly say thank you to Starch Manning for the $5 with a message. Stephen Miller, Pee Wee German. There you have it. Let me open up the old.
Love that.
Who's all streaming on Twitch? Who's a smaller streamer? There's Maple Takes. There's Amy C3. There's Hotter Dad. There's Snake, who's playing Silent Hill F. There's Pleasantly Twisted. Oh, Doodleburb is streaming as well. A lot of good people.
Okay.
You tell me, and we'll rate them.
Yeah.
How about Doodleburb? Doodleburb has the least amount of viewers, so.
Okay. Can you spell Doodleburb for me?
It's doodle like doodling, and then burb, B-I-R-B, and it's they them pronouns. They use they them pronouns.
Oh, I see Doodleburb. It showed up for me.
It didn't show up for me.
DOODLEBI.
Oh, they did show up for me. Okay. And they're playing Supermarket Simulator.
They are playing Supermarket Simulator.
Nice. Oh, got a new super chat. I'm not sure, but we'll use this for my
Supermarket.
2028 run.
Supermarket Simulator? What is that? Is it really a?
It's exactly what it sounds like.
You guys need to simulate something that you do every week. I mean, I go to this. I don't need a simulator for going to the supermarket.
You have no idea how many simulator games there are.
Yeah.
And
Thank
how
you,
many
ABS.
things-
I did not watch
Are we gonna play political podcast simulator next? Is that what we're?
I would try.
Is that a game?
It exists. I guarantee you, there's going to be one. There's workplace simulator. There's cooking simulators. There's
YouTube Life
farming simulators. Yeah.
No, I know there's a bunch of simulators, but usually a simulator is something that's like like flight simulator. You don't fly a plane in your regular life, unless you're a pilot. But so people do the flight simulator, right? So you assume that's the. Am I wrong? I know there's goat.
maybe you
isn't there a
wanna-
goat simulator. I get that too. You're not a goat.
Power wash simulator is actually very soothing, and it's exactly what it
Yes.
sounds like. You literally.
But you
just
know what?
power
That makes even that
Yeah.
though makes more sense than the supermarket simulator because not all of us have access to a power washer. I mean, that makes sense.
But if you're
Everyone
a
goes to
petite
the supermarket.
bourgeoisie and you want to LARP as like a working class person who's stocking shelves and checking out customers.
I mean, I guess that's the case, but I don't think that's who Doodleburb is.
Yeah, I won't lie. I like Supermarket Simulator. I like TCG Simulator. I love those dumbass simulators. They're stupid, but they are kind of fun.
What do you get out of the? Wait, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. Someone says you own the supermarket. Okay, that's different. That's supermarket owner simulator.
Yeah, and you get to design your store and stock it the way you
Oh
want.
no,
and
that's
set it
different.
up.
No, that's
So it's
different. I
kind of
thought it was
fun.
like a simulator where you just go shopping at the supermarket.
Oh no. Yeah, you set it up.
That's
and
the metaverse. Yeah, that's the metaverse.
No, okay, now that makes. I mean, that's just that makes sense. That's the same thing as like theme park simulators and all. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if you listen to Pearl Mania or Pearl Mania's podcast, but his wife was like, I can't tell you how angry I get when he plays Power Wash Simulator because we have a power washer and we need to power wash it outside.
If you have a power
game and go fucking power wash our
If
That's
you
so
have a
funny.
power washer and you're playing the simulator, then you're exactly what I thought the supermarket simulator was.
Simulator.
Yeah.
I was like, you're supposed to be power washing the fucking the driveway.
I love Power Wash Simulator. By the way, we did talk about this, Sam. I'm not surprised by his dumbass comments about Tylenol, but yeah, it's very stupid. Well, I think that's the show. We already rated into Doodleburb.
Oh, I didn't. I was talking with you guys. I didn't rate anyone yet.
Mine automatically did.
Oh,
love
okay.
you,
I'm
Will.
rating now. I'm
See you
rating now.
soon.
Rating now. Here we go.
Well, take care, everybody.
Wait. I didn't rate yet. Don't lose my
Okay, I'll
viewers. Hold on. All right. I just rated. Bye, everybody.
All right. Peace out.